What's going on? What's going on? Happy Tuesday, everybody. You're here with Kings and Dreams. Also got some special guests. So we're doing some dual streaming. We are going to be talking about a trip that we are going to be going to Cuba. And man, we are going to have a fun week, man. So let's get it started.
Damn, Perk did this?
I don't need no one to save me. I was born to be the greatest. All that time in that basement, all that time isn't wasted. Rapping getting faded. I just wanna tell my mom that I made it. Just wanna be the topic of the conversation. Used to rock the gold plated. Now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.
What's going on again, man? I thank you all for rocking out with your boy Kings and Dreams. Man, listen, your boy is outside. Man, I got a 7 a.m. flight. So, definitely had to bring some of my brothers who have been to this country. So I'm very, very excited, man. First one, man. I don't know if you've actually been on my channel, but I definitely want to give you a shout out because you did an excellent video and I've seen your channel growing, man. My man, Solo ORD, Solo Traveler ORD. I want to make sure I say that right. My G, what's going on, brother?
Hey, thanks, man. Yo, man, it's an honor to be on your show, man. It's my first time doing it live with you, so I'm definitely, geeked and happy to be here, man. Because I've been following you for some time. I've been enjoying a lot of the content you've been dropping, especially with a lot of the guests. You've been interviewing a lot of people, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man, dope stuff. I've enjoyed it, and I was glad to at least do that one that video review that you did because I was looking for something I could use from you because I really wanted to do something, from what the content that you had. So
Right.
now last one, I like that one, and hey, that was it.
Absolutely, man. And, I've been following you as well, man. Your trips to Colombia, so I know Colombia as well, like the back of your hand, brother. So definitely appreciate once we do get back and everything is settled, will definitely be doing a one-on-one. No, I got you for sure. My next guest I do want to bring up, man. He also has been a friend of the channel. You've seen him a couple of times. Black Man's Travel, not to be confused with BMT. This is Black Man's Travels. My man, my brother, what's going on with you, man? Are you on mute, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me. Appreciate
Man,
that.
listen, man, I appreciate it, man. And the thing is, you two gentlemen have been to Cuba before, so you guys have a lot of experience, man. So I'm definitely excited. I'm glad to have you, on the platform. We also doing some dual streaming, so all of our guests are going to be able to intermingle and things like that, man. So I'm very excited, man.
Yeah, most
For sure.
definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah, man. And the next guest, first time being on my channel, definitely won't be the last time, man. Definitely got to give my New York City brother vlog trip and Trini, man. We got that Caribbean thing, we got that New York thing going. What's going on, man?
What's popping? What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Definitely shout out to all you guys. I'm trying to get like y'all, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get my channel like y'all. My little baby channel just starting up and first time in Cuba, so I'm excited.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. I'm so glad to have you guys here, man. It's gonna be a really fun experience, man. Like the one thing I really like is when content creators when they come together and be able to put like all of this different content. Like I'm really excited for the content that we're really gonna be able to put together because all four of us are content creators, so we're looking at it from a creative lens, man. So it's going to be a thing of beauty. That's what I really truly believe, man.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I'm looking forward to it. And again, to have so many guys out there. Also, there's a few guys from my Facebook group that's planning to be out there as well. So I think
Oh
in
wow.
total, I think it'll be about 10 of us out down there.
Oh wow. Okay, so
Yeah,
we're gonna be
yeah.
10 deep. Yeah, man. I was thinking we was gonna be like 4 or 5 or something, but
Nah,
okay. Hey
but
man,
it's
listen.
funny because like once I made the announcement that I was going to Cuba,
Mhm.
everybody hit me up like, "Yo, you going?" Like, I bet.
Yeah.
They booked their ticket the same time I booked mine.
Nice.
And so they're gonna show up. So we're gonna go out there and have a good time.
Nice. Now, what days are they going to be out there? Because as I mentioned, I told everybody. So, like, I'll be down there tomorrow afternoon. But my first flight is because I have a layover. My first flight is at 7 a.m.
Yeah, I fly out tomorrow as well. I'm flying down to Fort Lauderdale. Then from
Okay.
Fort Lauderdale, I'm staying there for about a day. Then I leave Thursday morning. So
Okay.
I should arrive in Cuba at 8:30 a.m.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'll be in Cuba tomorrow afternoon at probably around 3 or 3:30 ish.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
for me, I'm probably gonna be out there on Thursday. So
Oh,
hopefully
you
I can
are.
catch up for all you guys once I get down there. I know it's gonna be hard trying to talk to y'all because of the whole self-service situation, but we're gonna have to find a way to link up once I get out there. 'Cause I know you guys are gonna be out there first. So
Yeah. Well, no worries, man. What I'll do is like I have a plan for that. So I think like what I'm gonna be able to get. I think I'm actually gonna be able to get a walk-in hotspot. So I'll be able to be in touch with with you or whatever. You just let me know like, hey, I landed and stuff like that. So and then also the Airbnb has Wi-Fi. So due to the fact that I know that you're gonna be pulling up on Thursday, do you know what time you're gonna be there or?
not yet. I can't tell you yet, but
Oh,
be there
okay,
Thursday.
okay. All right. I think he knows, but he wants to surprise the audience. All right. You could hit me on the WhatsApp and let me know.
So
But yeah, we'll check in for you. Now vlog tripping. Are you coming on Thursday too?
I am landing about midday Thursday.
Okay, okay, all
perfect,
right.
I'm
perfect, man.
expecting y'all to lay out the red carpet for me and have everything situated. You know what I mean? So y'all got boots on the ground before me, so I'm expecting to walk in and just slide in all easy. You know what I mean?
I got you, man. I got you. I got you. So I did have a couple of questions. For Solo and Black Man's Travels. If y'all don't mind, let me give a couple of shout outs to the chat. There is a super chat that did pop in, so super chats do jump the line. Westside TMZ, my G. All of y'all, make sure y'all check out Westside's channel, man. He has a really good channel as well. He says enjoy and safe trip. Yes, absolutely, man. The most important
Appreciate
thing is to get there safe and get back safe. Appreciate
Yeah,
that, man.
definitely, definitely. So I mean, the great thing about it is like I've been there, Solo been there, so we
Yeah.
know what to expect. And everyone, like typically, I always tell everyone, manage your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Dominican Republic, it's not Colombia, it's not Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
Check your ego, check your expectations. Just go there with an open mind and just have a great time.
Mm. I
that.
like that, man. Manage your expectations. I think that that's a great segue, right? So you mentioned DR, you mentioned Colombia. Why would you say manage your expectations and use those as a reference?
Because people typically like to compare. And I always say that normally with every country, you got to treat it as a new country that you've never been before. So when you try to do that compare analysis, it's never a great thing. And with Colombia being a communist country and the way things are operating, you'll be setting yourself for failure if you go there with that glass eye perspective, thinking that you're gonna find that Sasua vibe or that Cartagena vibe. You're not gonna find that. Cuba is Cuba. There's no comparison.
Right.
That's facts. I agree with that. And that is where brothers make the biggest mistake of doing that. Just like
Yeah.
you said, one of the biggest things that they like to compare with Sasua, or even let's say, for example, Cartagena.
Yeah.
You got two different types of activity that goes on in Cuba. I'm sorry, in Cuba compared to Colombia, compared to DR, or even Mexico. It depends on
Yeah.
how you look at it. So one of the biggest things that brothers, especially going to Cuba, that they're expecting is that there's going to be a lot of people speaking English to them, which is not going to be that way in Cuba. You're going to catch a couple people that will do that, but most of the time you're going to have your Spanish game up for this trip going to Cuba. So it's very important that you treat just like Black Man Travels actually said that, for this country for what it's worth. You don't want to go in there thinking that you're going to do the same thing like you do in any other country.
Yep. So
Gotcha.
it's
That makes
important
sense.
that you so that and that's why I tell everyone that goes to Cuba, like, hey, listen, don't carry that same mindset that you have in Brazil, Dominican Republic or Colombia or Costa Rica, Mexico. Go there with just a new perspective, understand, be patient.
Yep.
Don't go there thinking that you're gonna have lobster and shrimp and steak. You're not gonna have that. Just be happy. If you eat rice and beans and chicken, you're good. I'm
Right.
just setting the level of
Right.
expectations, man. And it's just like people go there thinking that they're gonna get this 5-star resort treatment, and it's not the case.
Yeah.
Right.
If anything, the first day may be a little difficult for you because you do see poverty, but also there's there are rich areas, but it's really in your face. Like when you're there, you see it.
Right. Well, I mean, so when you say poverty's in your face, like I don't know if any of you guys, I think solo you have and Black Men, if you have even vlog tripping, have any of you guys been to Barranquilla before?
Yeah, I've been about a king before.
Okay, so yeah, so you know, like immediately when you come out the airport, like maybe within 5 minutes, you already start to see the poverty. You know what I mean? So
I
I
mean,
think
When it
my
comes
fault, go
down
ahead.
to, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say when it comes down to Better Kid, when I first time with the Better Kid, I kind of compared it to Havana because of
Mhm.
how the look, the way that things is set up, the people that are there, the type of shade skin that you see out there is kind of almost similar to what you
Right.
see in Havana.
mhm.
So when you see the poverty, when you see how like some of the dirt roads where you see like a lot of rocks and things like that, that's kind of what you're gonna see out there in Cuba, where you see buildings basically almost condemned in so many words, or somewhat trying to be fixed on, but look like they've been working on it for years. That's
Mhm.
kind of what you're going to see in Cuba. My first time going to Cuba, what kind of woke me up was when we first got to the airport, they didn't even have AC. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, thank God now they have AC if you go there. But that was one of
Okay.
the things I was like kind of taken back off of, because the fact is, you get there and you expect them to be, at least in a comfortable environment. But unfortunately, once you get there, you start to see that, okay, well, now you went back in time. Now you're seeing how, you know, things were back in the 1950s and 60s. But one thing that I like about it, not to harp on the bad stuff, but when you get there, a lot of the TSA agents you'll see are the women, that are helping you out, immigration and things like that. And you'll see them with the nylon, what you call those things, on their legs. Can't think of the name right now, but you'll see them with the old fashioned looking like feminine. So at least you get greeted with that. But things has changed a little bit from the past couple times since I've been there. But just know that you have just come in with an open mind, like Black Man Travis has stated. Go there with an open mind and just know that just go there just to enjoy yourself. Don't go
yeah,
there to try to
and
talk.
and just to show you guys, you mind if I just share my screen real quick? I have a
Nah,
picture.
man, have at it, have at it. But really quick, solo. I think that you were talking about stockings. I think that's what you meant to
Yeah,
say, right?
there we go. Stockings. There
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Black Man. Whenever you're ready.
All right, where is it? Okay, just to give you guys a perspective. Hold on. Like this is what you see. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, this is what you see. This is what I mean. This is back in 2017 when I was there, and of course, you got this here. And again, Cuba doesn't get a lot of tourists, especially a lot of American tourists. The tourists that you're going to see are from Spain, from Canada, from China. There is a huge Chinese population there as well. So don't be surprised that you run into a Chinatown. Again, this is Havana. So this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of these old school cars out there, where that's the common look. This is what and just expect to see this.
Yeah,
And again,
you sharing something?
I'm,
All I see is the folder. I don't know if you
Yeah,
share.
oh, okay.
yeah. I
Hold
just
on.
see the folder, brother.
Hey, one second. My bad. Let me
Okay.
because I really want to share it. I want to give you guys a true perspective of what things look like.
All right.
Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, window.
I think once the window's open, then click, then try to share that part of it.
Oh, okay. So if I share Cuba folder, do you see the folder?
Share again.
Yeah, we see the
All
folder,
right.
but like, yeah, so
If I
click into it and then press pause, and then I think we'll be able to see it.
can you see the picture? Or you see the
No, no
folder?
picture, brother.
Oh, okay. This is different. All right. Well, shit. I wanted to. You know what? Let me do this. 1 second, guys.
Okay, no worries, man.
Yeah. If,
While you figuring it out, do you mind if we shout some people out?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Man, because who also went to Cuba, the Flyboy Way, man. He was out there
shouts
holding
out
it
to him.
down. So salute to the Flyboy Way, THEFLYBOY. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel. My brother right there. Tim Howard is in the building. Listen, any moderators, make sure that you are dropping all of our links. We are streaming from all of our channels, so please make sure that you dropping everybody's links. Subscribe to everybody's channels. You know, subscribe to mine, subscribe to Solo ORD, subscribe to Vibe Tripping. I see you got it now, and also make sure you subscribe to Black Man's Travels. Here we go.
All right, so what I'm showing here is Old Havana, and this is what it looks like, guys. Now, granted, guys, this could fool you because again, based on from the outside of these buildings, it look very run down, but once you go inside, it's completely different. And I know Solo, you probably experienced that as well. Like from the outside, it looks very, very run down, but once you're inside, depending on how modern the place is, it could get really fancy in there. So this is Old Havana. Again, you know, this is I think this is outside of Alvarado near the Malacon area. So this is right on the coastline.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm going to be staying at. But
yeah, so this is your area right here.
Yep.
Yeah, and of course, see again, a lot of rundown buildings. People are actually living in these buildings. A lot of buildings are decaying because due to a lack of infrastructure. But again, guys, just go there. Just be humble. Don't go there with arrogance. Don't go there with jewelry. Don't go there being loud. Again, because you're in a communist country, so your ass will get checked. And just be mindful of that. And again, this is one of the schools that I went to back in 2017. I actually brought some school supplies out there. And one thing, guys, Cuba is black, man. As much as, you know, if you ever lived in Miami or gone to Miami, you would think Cuba is based on a certain skin tone. No, majority of people in Cuba are actually black.
Yep.
And of course, the cars, the classic cars. One thing, guys, avoid some of these cars because they will try to scam you. So before you sit in this car, try to negotiate. Don't pay more than $40 for a tour. If you pay more than that, they got you.
And
Yeah,
very good to know.
Yeah, one thing is it's usually about $20 per person, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You might be able to get them down cheaper, depending on how you become buddy with them. But you're looking at about $20 per person, 40 total for if you have two people.
And
okay,
I would say
I was told 15.
Yeah, might be able to get that down depending on.
I mean, right now things are super slow because it's hurricane season. So their high season is kind of similar to Dominican Republic between November and April. Right now things are super slow, so you could actually go there and actually negotiate a great rate, maybe get it for $15 or $20. But once you do the car tour one time, you don't need to do it again. Like just do it, get the pictures, do the tour, whatever. After that, don't do it again because it's just be a total waste. You could actually walk around and just catch the yellow taxi or the brown taxis. And this is Havana from a high view.
I like that aerial shot, man.
Yeah, and actually we could go there. It's free. I think you pay $2 to get in, and they'll take you to the highest point. It's the elevator.
Yeah,
and it's a museum that highlights Fidel Castro life, where he started, from the beginning to the end. So it's kind of cool. Man,
listen, that's a thumbnail right there.
Nah. See, well, I'm bringing my camera, man, so I'm definitely gonna have some way better high res images. This is the Revolution Square. They have the pictures of their their leaders, and of course this is
two taxis there. I wanted to talk about the taxi after we're done showing this because since you brought it up.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, go ahead and talk to.
Oh well, since if you don't mind going back to that video,
sure.
This is actually we actually see three different taxis in this video. You see that yellow one there, you see that green car. Those two are two separate different types of taxis.
Yes.
The prices that you're gonna run you for those type of taxis is roughly about $2 million. You're gonna be paying $2 million is equivalent of $10. Every $1 million is $5. So if you're going to use that to go back and forth from where we're going to be staying at, going to Old Habana, that's how much you should be paying. If someone tells you more than that price, they're going to be trying to get over on you. So you don't want to pay more than $2 million coming from the area that we're staying going to Old Habana. There's also other types of cars that you could talk, like you could talk to people on the street and ask them if they do taxi services. So that's what I've done. I've talked to people off the street. I've flagged them down and so forth. They also have the newer taxi cars that are out there, but I wouldn't
the yellow taxis.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch those because they're going to charge you $20 no matter what.
No.
So
and I definitely co-sign with Steve on that one because they try to get me with that as well. So, and that's why I tell guys avoid the classic cars. If you see those shiny classic cars, avoid them. I mean, do it for a tour, but after that, don't use them again. Actually, ORD, I was using that yellow little funny cab with the three wheeler.
Yeah, that one right
I
there.
was using that a lot when I was there because I was staying in Old Havana. So traveling between Old Havana and to Bavaro, I jump on these babies, and it was
Yeah.
fun. But at the same time, I had a cheap phone, so I didn't understand how to use it. But now
Yeah.
I'm bringing my camera, the GoPro, everything else, so I should definitely have better content.
Yeah.
Really quickly, so like, is there any way like you could go from old Habana to Vidado back and forth? Like could you get it for, let's say, 1 mil, 1 mil, which is 1 million Cuban pesos, which is $5? Could you get it that way or no?
You
Nah,
can, but like if that's the case, then you got to do more of the local taxis.
yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think like, and sometimes it gets super crowded, and the fact that you're only there for a temporary time, you want to get around a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I just go ahead and pay the $5 or $10, whatever. It's what it is.
Yeah, last time I was there, they're quoting 2 mil each time, both ways.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
they're not doing anything less than that, especially at nighttime. Of course, club night Friday night, they're going
Yeah.
to
Right,
charge you
right,
even
right.
more.
They looking for their coin. I feel you. I feel you. Let me
Yeah.
just get to the super chat really, really quickly.
Go for it.
Shout out to Black Nubian for the $2 Canadian dollars. Definitely appreciate you all watching in. So we got 28 in total. Make sure that you all are liking and subscribing to everyone's channels, man. We giving y'all some good information here, man, because like, I've always been curious about Cuba, and I'm sure like some of you guys subscribers ask about Cuba and stuff like that. So it's good to know the information that you guys are giving out.
Yeah. And I just got a couple of things I want to show you guys, and I'm gonna get off of this. This is like one of the areas that I was walking in. And again, I didn't have like this is before I thought about even becoming a content creator.
Yeah.
So I just had my little phone out, just taking pictures. But this is like some of the neighborhoods, so you have a general idea as far as what to expect. Right now it is raining season, so it's kind of like Miami. If you guys ever been to Miami, it rains from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. After that, it's humid. So
Yep.
right now, the average temperature in Havana is going to be about 95 degrees to 97 degrees.
Whew.
And the thing about it, with all the rain, mosquitoes come out. So I always advise people to bring their mosquito repellent because the mosquitoes out there don't play.
Yeah. Now, do they have insect repellent over there, or
Yeah, but it's super expensive. Super
they gonna
expensive.
charge you what, like $50?
Yeah, and that's what you have to understand. Everything's based on scarcity goods. So
Mhm.
things that you normally use, like soap and stuff that you prefer to have, don't think you're gonna find that over there at a CVS or a Walgreens. You're not
Right.
gonna find that. That's why they always advise you to bring your own stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because so for guys and ladies who may be watching,
Yeah.
like for your simple toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bring that with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, shoot, 95 degrees. Listen, yeah, you don't want to be walking around musty, man. But
And
your basic toiletries that you think that you could get, as you said, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, all of these other places, it's not like that. Like, for all of my Colombian watchers who watch, like, it's not like you could go to like Poblado, or you go to the around the corner and what do you call it, the local drugstore, and get something like that. It's not like that. So you want to make sure that you are bringing whatever it is. So make sure that you are packing these things. So
Yep.
that's why as soon as I'm done here, I'm making sure that I pack all my toiletries first.
I kid you not. I actually went to CVS today to get some
Mhm.
stuff like lotion, soap,
Yeah.
toothpaste, all this stuff. Because the thing is, I'm only there for 4 days, so I just need 4 days worth of items. But guys, if
Right.
you're there for a long period of time, bring your items with you, because again, if you try to buy it out there, you will pay premium prices for it because due to the embargo.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And make sure for you guys that are looking to like deal with the women that are there, bring some cologne. They love cologne out there. So if they smell you, seeing that you're smelling good, they will be all over you. So that's one of the biggest things. Make you fresh. Keep yourself fresh and take baths, take showers as much as you can while you're out there. It's very humid. It's gonna get very sticky while you're out there, especially 95-degree weather. I've been out there when it's been really hot and when it's been really mild. And when it's really hot, you definitely want to take baths, several showers throughout the day. Keep yourself fresh.
And speaking of bath, you'll be taking cold bath, cold showers, because again, it's so humid that the thought of even using hot water won't, like, you won't even dare. It gets really muggy, guys. Again, if you're from Florida, you understand how Florida weather is. It's like that in Cuba, but 10 times worse because you're literally on the island.
Yep. It's like yeah. So for like the DR guys, the ones that may go to like Sosua or like a beach type of area, like it's definitely humid. So
Yeah.
for sure. Really quick, QB Passport Flexing did have a question. This is for you, Black Man's Travels.
Sure.
Black Man's Travels, but aren't you limited by TSA unless you check in the bag? That's a good question.
But that's for
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. If like in my case, as long as you have items that's less than 3 ounces, you're good for carry on. Anything above 3 ounces, you have to check it. So if you need a big body lotion, then yeah, you got to check it. But most of the items, because again, I'm only there for 4 days. Everything I'm carrying is less than 3 ounces, so I could actually have it in my carry on.
Okay, cool. I see the boxing video.
Yeah, I wanted to give you guys a quick story behind this.
Yes, absolutely, and then we'll go to what Flyboy said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so basically, I boxed. I really enjoy boxing. My trainer, he trained NFL players down in Miami, and I remember as I was getting ready to go to Cuba, it's like, hey, listen, do you have any old equipment that you want to donate? I want to just bring it out to Cuba. And he said, like, you know what? I don't want to give Cubans old equipment. So he gave me a lot of new equipment that came in. He gave me the headgear, the gloves, like the gloves you see there. It's called the gym. That's his business.
Mm-hmm.
And the shirts, the bell whistles, like everything. He literally gave me two duffel bags, 2 Army duffel bags of boxing equipment. When I
Wow.
brought it to Cuba, man, I came to this facility, this boxing facility called Rafael Tajilo or something like that.
Yep.
And I just surprised. I gave it to him, and the community. He called out the community. They came out and they all embraced me and my boy Nick. And from there, man, we got special. And the thing is, my spot was only 1 block away from there, so everywhere I went, people knew who I was.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, man.
So the fact that we were able to, go there, donate the boxing gloves, but also too was able to have a one-on-one training session with him. So we kind of did an 8-round session. That was kind of cool. And again, just like the way Cuban boxers, they box different from American boxers. So it was like just learning their technique was kind of interesting. It was a great experience, man. If anything, this was my highlight because again, I brought new equipment, shirts, apparel, mouth guards, everything. And they really enjoyed it and they took advantage of it. So this is kind of like my highlight of my trip here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I love boxing too. Like, I mean, football is my number one. That's the sport that I played, the most. I've never like done like boxing, but I've always loved like martial arts and like one-on-one combat stuff. So
yeah.
Definitely, man. We got to hit that place up. Long story short, we got to hit that place up.
Yeah, man. And also too, man, I know there's a lot of YouTube beefs going on. Dudes calling out dudes on boxing ring. I want somebody to call me out, man. So let's
listen, man.
Let's put it to work, man. Let's put it to work, man.
Listen, man. We go keep it on Cuba, man. We go keep it on Cuba. Flyboy says he says go to the store and get 14 packs of chips. Also, at least 2 Gatorade bottles in your bag for each day that you're there. Okay.
Yep, thanks. And one thing I also want to add, as far as something what not to bring to Cuba, for those of you that are content creators, don't bring a drone. You don't want to bring that. They will confiscate that. So
say that one more time. I just had to make you big really quick, man.
Do not bring your drone if you are a content creator because they will take it. And at the same time as they take it, you may not get it back. So they may sit there and inventory it for you, have you sit there for about an hour as they inventory it because they will use paper and pen, the inventory. They don't really use computers and things like that. But after they take it, you may never, ever see it again. So don't bring that at all.
Yeah, guys. If anything, just be smart. Do your research. Understand the reason why you're going there. You're there to support the Cuban people. And just be mindful. If you tend to act a little ignorant in other countries, don't act ignorant in Cuba.
Yeah,
They
don't do
will
that.
arrest you.
Yeah, you will get arrested. You may not come back.
Yeah.
So many words.
So that's
Yeah,
that's
no,
one thing
yeah.
to keep in mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Excellent point, man. I'm glad you told me about the drone because I think some people would automatically like, I want to take a picture of like, a beautiful skyline or something like that, right? And it's like, I mean, you may have good intentions, but you just don't want to, go there with the mentality of like, hey, you know what, like I automatically can do this. Where in other countries they don't care. But the thing, as you mentioned, Black Man Travels, the big thing that you've hit on, I think you said this a couple of times, this is a communist country, so it's different.
And it is important that we continue to stress that.
Right.
You're in a communist country. You're in China. You're in Russia.
Yeah.
You can't go there and do f crap behavior and thinking that you're gonna come back home. Doesn't work that way. And also, too, if you're a content creator, do not record police. Do not record children. Do not record the military. And be careful you don't record office buildings like government buildings. Yeah. Be careful. So for me, like I'm bringing my equipment. I know ORD gonna be happy. I'm bringing the M50 with me. Nice. Of course, I'm bringing my GoPro with me.
Hey man, let me just borrow like one of them, man.
I'm bringing the DJI Pocket for incognito.
Okay.
And of course, this little baby right here, man. This is the Insta360. This bad boy right here. It records 360, and I think this is gonna be my go-to toy, walking around and just capturing a lot of content from a 360 perspective. So, yeah, man, this definitely a work trip. Content focus, content first, play later. So we're gonna go out there and generate as much content as possible.
And also, one thing to add: also make sure that whoever you record, you get their permission to
permission.
Record.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't just record anyone. So because of the fact that they have the rules on the books of the fact that if you record them without the permission, things can happen to you. Secondly, there's a reason why Cuba is one of the safest countries. It's because they have all these laws, all these rules that you have to follow. So the same thing such as what goes on in Dubai. The reason why they're safe, it's a safe country because they have so many rules and things like that, and people go to jail, such as we heard or we've seen other people or even content creators, women that has went out there and have went to jail for doing things that you would think that would be regular things that goes on in the States. Well, it's a different country. So like he said, as she stressed, this is a communist country. So they have certain rules in place to keep order in the country.
And one thing to keep in mind, guys, locals are not allowed to harass tourists. Tourists is their bread and butter. So if a local gets caught harassing a tourist, that's jail time. I'm not sure if you guys heard of what happened with Kurt Cutts, what happened in regards to his recent trip to Cuba. He was recording some ladies that were talking about some transaction thing. Guess what? They found those two girls and arrested them, and they're currently in jail.
Wow.
Yeah.
So hold on, let me chime in for a bit. To my Cuban vets, right? So I have been to Vietnam. Vietnam is a communist country, and I had an amazing time there. Now, since you just mentioned that last part about locals can't harass tourists, are we targeted in any form from the state or from police?
When you say targeted,
that's actually a great question right there, Vlog Tripping.
Well, here's the thing. Want to be more specific when you say targeted? Are you talking about as far as for your safety, or targeted as far as for making purchases or for hustling us?
Target as being something like you're being extorted, or
that's the way I took it, like a shakedown.
Like the police, I'm hungry. Can I get some money for food? Otherwise, if you don't do it, they're like, yo, you're breaking this law, you're breaking that law. No. That kind of thing.
I mean, well, I could go first, or then you could follow up. Based on what I've seen, the police kind of keep their distance, man, because they ain't trying to lose their job. And again, the worst thing you could do is go to the U.S. embassy or go to the Cuban embassy and make a complaint. So they're very adamant in regards to not harassing the tourists, because again, tourists is one of their biggest revenue drivers, and especially during the slow season, they're gonna value you more because you're out there. So again, just like the two girls that that got caught on the video trying to make a transaction, they went to their house and arrested them. Now the girls are in jail.
Yeah.
Wow.
from my perspective, I could tell you this. As far as the police and so forth, they really don't mess with you. The only time you're actually gonna have a lot of interaction with someone of that officer or whatever from that field is immigration. Because they're gonna
Yeah.
drill you, they're gonna ask you a lot of questions of where you're gonna be at, who you're gonna be with, how much money you have, how long you're gonna be there. It isn't like the typical what you get from other countries. That is kind of like just conversation piece. No, this one they actually want to know everything, and they want to make sure that they're gonna follow you for wherever you go to. So you want to make sure that you don't lie to them about that. But out on the streets, with the police, you don't get any not a lot of interaction with them at all.
Yeah.
They're fine. They're just doing their job and so forth. Most of the time, all the interaction you're gonna get with are with the local, the people trying to hustle, trying to make
Yeah.
money. It's not that they're hustling, trying to rip you off. They're
They're
just
trying to
hustling
eat.
to make money. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. They're just trying to. So just be aware that that's what's going to happen. And of course, man, you're gonna get a lot of people running around talking about some American, because they're gonna notice.
Yeah.
So and once they call
Now,
you
and,
out,
and,
they're gonna
and one thing too is like, we don't want to make it all jury because it's not. Cuba does have a upper class society. They have wealth there. It's just that when you're walking around in old Havana, that's what you're going to experience. You're going to experience Cuba for what it is. But if you're staying out in Bavado, where you're staying king and where Solo's staying, is a whole different atmosphere.
Oh, they noticed me out there. They're out there saying
Yeah.
the same thing too. They were like, "Yo, American." I was like, "Nah, homie, nah. This ain't the time." I was like, this like, nah. So,
That's funny,
you know,
man. Let me get into this super chat by QB Passport Flex, and also make sure you guys check out QB Passport Flex and channel. Definitely a Mexico guru. Like I tell you, man, he knows Mexico in and out, man. So he says, I'm depending on y'all to motivate me to visit Cuba. Hey, listen, man, you got four guys on here. We got two veterans, two rookies, if you will. You know what I mean? So
you gotta want
we
to go
we gonna come
yourself.
up with a plan.
But you
Yeah,
gotta
we
want
gonna
to
come up
go
with
at
a
the same
plan.
time, because we can say all that we can, but it's up to you to really want to go, because we could, because our experience, such as me and Black Man Travel, we talked about how great our experience has been, but other people has had different experience and they did not like it.
I
So
agree.
it's all up to how you go into Cuba, how you perceive it, and you got to make it the way that you want it to be. Because if you're going in there thinking one way because someone else had that experience, it may not go that way for you. So you got to go for open eyes, open mind, and you kind of want to go there instead of just
Right.
being motivated, persuaded to go there.
Absolutely. So I would add on to that. What I would say is that if you're a person that's able to adapt or be adaptable, if you will, then you'll be able to have a good time.
Mhm.
If you just kind of have a 1, 2, or 3 way kind of set track mindset, for anyone that's listening, then this may not be the place for you. You have to be an adaptable person. Especially like if you want to travel to multiple countries, because all countries are not gonna be the same. Like I'll even divulge even further. Like if you're a person that strictly likes to go into the red light areas and have fun, maybe this may not be an area for you, or you know what I mean. So you just got to be mindful of that. Is this you, Steve? That's showing this, or
Oh, that's me. That's me. I just want to
oh,
share
okay,
everybody.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, guys, look, at the end of the day, we can't convince you to go to visit a country. At the end of the day, Cuba is a place is like if you're a traveler, you're a traveler. You don't care where you go. I mean, you do care where you go, but you kind of like the sense of the adventure. Cuba is an adventure. If you're trying to go there, trying to do the whole, like I said, the Colombia, the Dominican Republic, the Mexico, the Brazil type environment, that's not the place. Cuba is you there to walk around a lot because you're gonna be walking a lot. Wear comfortable shoes, go out there, learn about the culture, the people, the history. Again, see black Cubans, is crap load of black Cubans there, and really have a great time. And being a planner, I've I have 4 days to be in Cuba, so I put together this itinerary. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can yeah, there we go. Thank you.
All
Because
right, so
I was like, I could see, but I'm
all
like,
right,
come on, like
hold
yeah,
on, and make it bigger. All
yeah,
right,
yeah.
all
Yep.
right. So this is what I do, and again, this me being a strategist as a professional, but also a tactician. Every country that I go to, I need to know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not the type of person that just go, okay, I'm a wing it. That's not me. Every country I go to, I need to know exactly where I'm going. I create a timeline as far as what places to go, what I'm planning to do at night, what restaurants I want to check out. So worst case scenario, if I don't go to it, I have a backup plan. So I put together this itinerary for 4 days, Havana, Cuba, Thursday, highlights, the time we come in, the places we're gonna check out, dinner time and downtime, and of course the club, the nightlife. These are some of the options that we could go each day of the week. So Friday, same thing. It's a detailed plan that highlights how I move. And anyone that actually travel with me will basically follow this plan. Now, if you choose to do your own thing, that's on you. But again, I like to do my research when it comes to traveling because it makes things a lot easier when I get there. So when I get there, I already know places where I want to go and see. But also too, if I feel like what, we could just chill and just go back to the crib, we could actually do that. But I know at nighttime, these are my options: Cuban Art Factory, VS Bar, Bar 2.45, Bar LM, Casa de la Musica. So again, these are the places that I know for a fact that hey, we need to go check out, and I do it for 4 days. So Saturday we're trying to do a beach day. We're trying to gather some people. We're all gonna go to the beach, get some rum, get some food, and just chill at the beach. You know what I mean? So have a great time. And of course, Sunday is Afro-Cuban Day. This is where you learn the history about the Afro-Cubans, the religion of Santeria and everything else. So again, this is a great plan to follow. It doesn't have to be something that you fully committed to, but it could be a guideline to help you maneuver in these countries.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I think it's a very great and detailed plan due to the fact that I'm gonna be out there tomorrow afternoon. So like whatever pretty much is not on that list, I'll get accomplished on Wednesday. So this way, like, Thursday through Sunday, we'll be able to, do what we do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, as soon as we touch down, man, we running. We
Oh
running.
yeah, we hitting the ground running. Oh, also, but before you show that, I just want to give a couple of shout outs. XL Pros in the building. Shout out to Miss Polly. She's in the building. Hello, hello. Wear Men's Lux magazine. He's actually in Miami too. So he says, crazy how all the Cubans here hated their never to return. Is it the money exchange? I mean, is it the communist, right? So basically, what he's asking, do you have an idea of why Cubans go to Miami, don't want to return back? Like, is it because of the currency, or is it because of like the communist
It's,
rules and things of that sort?
well, I could tell
Political.
you this from the perspective of what because I'm half Cuban, Cubano. My father from Habana, and
Okay.
for what he tells me is that for him is that he really don't want to go back. There's several reasons. The first reason is because, like he says, because of the communism. He don't want to go back because he came to the United States and he enjoyed the freedom of what he has. He knows that once you go to Cuba, there's certain things that you can't do, you can't say. For example, it used to be this strict in the past that if two or three or more people were like in a corner talking, the police will come over there and try to see what's going on. Will break it up because they're thinking that you might be plotting to try to overthrow the government. So they had a lot of restrictions, things like that in place. Also, one thing that he also noted to me, reason why he didn't enjoy going there is not now he goes there from time to time because we have family down there. We go visit, but for other Cubanos, especially those in Miami, a lot of times they don't want to go there with because they're salty about what happened during the whole Castro regime of basically of him taking control of everything there in the country. Because a lot of people, businessmen, they lost a lot of money. So because of that, you got a lot of people that are upset of that, and therefore you see whenever, not to get political, but whenever you see a lot of Republicans go to Miami, they a lot of Cubanos they're on the side of Republicans because they help out the Cubano people that's there. They tell look, we're going to try to do what we can to overthrow the government because they play off the fact that they're upset that a lot of them lost their money and that they want to go back and get their old homes, their the mansions and all that stuff and everything. So they play off of that, regular politician stuff that goes on.
Right.
So those are some of the reasons why people don't want to go back or really don't want to go back. Is because number one, because of the poverty, because of the communist state of being there, and they're just salty in so many words.
And also too, just to piggyback what ORD just mentioned, my bad. You have to understand the history, guys. I know that Castro tended to get a lot of negative press, but there was a dictator before Castro by the name of Batista. And Batista hated Black Cubans. He hated them, where he basically kept them out in the countryside where they couldn't get access to education or healthcare. So he purposely placed a lot of the Afro-Cubans out in the countryside. They couldn't go to school. They could only do more like servant roles. And due to the fact that, there was definitely a huge racism, colorism, classism in Cuba, Fidel Castro and his party wanted to create some level of balance to help benefit everybody, where not just a small percentage of Cubans were actually benefiting from the economy, and hence why the whole revolution started. But again, I know Fidel Castro gets a lot of bad rep, but people need to pay attention on the dictator before Fidel Castro, which was Batista. He was a bona fide racist. He allowed the mob to come in and run the country. And also, too, he basically made sure that Afro-Cubans were not allowed to get access to medical or education. He purposely done that and kept them out in the countryside.
Yep. And one thing I like to note also with you saying that, I love the fact that now if you go out there, you will see every different shades of people are interacting with each other.
Yeah.
From the Blanquitas to the Negros, whatever you could think of. Everybody is cool with everybody at this point. Go to the club. It's a whole mixture. Out in the street, it's a whole mixture. You always will see a Negra with a Blanquita. You see the pairs, things like that. Friends. Walking with each other. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares about the whole thing of your color, your skin, whatever. While you're out there, that's one thing I love. Whenever I go out there, it's just so chill and nice.
And also, people tend to forget that Cuba has a huge Taino population as well. Taínos were actually the Taínos did occupy Cuba as well. So you'll see some mixing of the Taino race as well.
Yep. And then to show you basically, I know that you were talking about Black Man Travel was talking about going to a VNS club bar. So that's what I'm sharing on the screen. Is this is kind of like to give you guys an example.
Hold on. My fault. Okay, I had made you big. Let me make this one big now. Hold up.
Yeah. So
all right. Yeah. Go ahead. You got it.
Yeah. So this is to give you an example of how you see it from the outside. You're like, what the heck is this? This don't look nice. It doesn't look good. But once you go inside, there's a whole different view of how the club looks. It looks pretty modern. Just that the outside just looks the way it is. So you see things like this. Also want to share with me being in a car traveling. Share this. Bring this video here. So this is kind of.
Okay, there we go.
What you see when you drive with the pink cars.
So you like it?
And then we never did the tour.
Oh, so it's your first time.
This one here. Just a street.
We're getting some feedback.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I said we were getting some feedback, but no, go ahead, do your thing.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'll kill this, but just to show you guys, this is kind of where they usually chill at. You'll see all these cars just lay it out, all these old funny cars or whatever you could think of. You could use them, and basically this is where you make the deal before you take the tour. But there is another video I want to show you the streets and the cars that I had up, which is we can use this one here. So this is kind of what you see. As you're going through the streets, you're gonna see a lot of people. This is kind of the scenery of the whole area, of the houses and everything. You would think that, oh my God, this place is run down, but it's actually really nice once you go in there. You see that they do have AC units, so you do have that out there, which is good. But when you do the Airbnb, depending on which one you go to, the AC may not be the greatest. So just know that that's what's going to happen.
I made sure my place has AC and it's thorough. So it's a 5-star spot. So I'm looking forward to that.
And also, absolutely. I mean, like like the thing is, especially when I know like a place is humid, right? Like, I'm West Indian, so like I know Jamaica has the humidity. Vlog tripping is Trinidad, so Trinidad got the humidity. Haiti got the humidity,
Yeah.
right? So like, once I start seeing like the humidity go up, I'm like, nope, I need AC because I already know what time it is.
I mean, one thing, guys, just wear light clothes. Don't go there with long sleeves. Wear comfortable shoes because you will be walking a lot, dancing a lot, just mingling, and just wear a lot of shorts, man. Just be
Yeah.
be prepared to like sweat because you're going to sweat.
Okay. Now, what about like the nightlife? Because you said don't wear like long sleeve. Can you wear long sleeves like if it's like a thin shirt or something like that? Like
Well,
at night?
here's the thing, man. You can, but I really wouldn't because it's very humid. And you can see from my pictures. I got on a regular. I'm gonna bring up this picture here.
Yeah.
Try to see which one that don't incriminate me.
Ah!
Try to get a good one. Let me see here.
Strike that from the record.
Exactly. Let's see here. Maybe this one here. I could use this one for a quick moment. But thing about it is that you can see that I'm very I got on a t-shirt, but I was still sweating, so much sweating in there. So you kind of
Yeah.
I would just go out there looking like a gringo, call it a day. That's just me. I wouldn't try to blend in. When I try to, look like I was straight Cubano, I wasn't getting much love. But once you go out there and just, be who you are, you'll get that type. You basically will get a lot of love.
I
Let me
got you.
get a video of inside a club here. Here. So you'll see, stuff like that. And get another one here. Not with me dancing, but yeah, we can use this one here. And you see that the club is just pretty modern, what you would see everywhere else. Just chill spot. You got your VIP areas, you got everything you're looking for, so tell you.
You know what? So speaking of like VIPs, like what's like the what's like the cost ratio? And because I know some people have some questions about that, like with the nightlife and stuff like that. Like, what's like the comparison? Because I know in Colombia, like I would say Barranquilla was probably the cheapest. But well, Medellin is not so bad. Like if you in Poblado, it's gonna be bad. But if you go like if you go to like Baylin or like more like the localized area, it's not gonna be so bad. So kind of break that down if you don't mind.
Yeah, so basically, my last trip when I went out there to buy a bottle, it costs about $50. That was it. Of course, you could pay a little bit more, but it depends on the time that you go. Just like any other club you go to, especially in the states, you have your time of when it's the prime time and when there isn't prime time.
Mhm.
We went out there on a Saturday night. Well, the first couple of times we went out there, we didn't have to buy a bottle for a seat or just to be in there because it was just on a Thursday and Friday. Everything was okay. But on a Saturday night when we decided to go out there, which of course late as usual, because we just showing up late. They wouldn't let us in unless we purchase a bottle, and it was only $50. I'm like, yo, that's nothing. So
Right.
purchase a bottle, have a good time.
Yeah.
But there are different levels to the VIP or to the bottle section and so forth. Basically, I'm gonna tell you this: I would never buy the VIP on the stage because, and this is just for any Latin country in general, because that would be something if you come in with girls already. Yeah, I would do that. If you guys are just looking to have your own fun, but if you're out there looking to have a good time with the people, with the locals and so forth, don't get the VIP that you're away from everyone, that you up above everybody or whatever. Don't get that. At least get yourself a seat, a bottle right there, and just have fun and invite ladies over, and you'll have a good time because if you're far away from everybody, it's going to be hard for you to pull the ladies that you want because you got to keep leaving VIP to go after them. It's just too much. So for me, what I've always noticed in Latin America, whatever it be from Mexico, Colombia, Cuba, wherever, all the places I've been to and have done it, I've always stayed close to everybody and just pick women up off the dance floor, just start dancing with them, and man, have a good time. It always works.
You know what? That is an excellent point because like um when you're outside of North America, and like in North America, it's cool to have the club like next to the DJ booth or behind the DJ booth, kind of away from everybody, right? But the thing is that like in Latin America, like they're typically, they typically would have danced and, be on the dance floor, be
Mhm.
around the people and stuff like that. Like they're not really like just pulling out their phone and trying to just stunt, you know what I mean? Like they're
Yep.
really trying to have a good time. And I think one of
Exactly.
the reasons why is because typically like they work, 6 days out of the week. So when they trying to blow off steam, they really trying to blow off steam. So that's an excellent point. You want to get right in the mix. If you want to get a VIP, get a VIP table where, you're right in the mix. So, for my single gentleman, if you meet a single lady and, you want to hang out with her, whatever the case is, it's easy to access her that way. So that's an excellent, excellent point. Really quick, all make sure that you do like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Make sure that you are all subscribing to all of our channels. Make sure that you're subscribing to Vlog Tripping. Definitely check out his channel. Black Man's Travels, Solo ORD. Make sure that you all are subscribed to Kings and Dreams. We're giving y'all some great content here tonight, man. Flyboy's been saying some things in the chat, and I wanted to actually, I'm gonna work my way backwards, Flyboy. So he says, Vadado, the bottle, 22 liters. Wait, 22 bottle, 151 on weekend
Mm.
and $100 during the week. So wait, $100 US? Hold on, expound on that, Flyboy, because there's no way I'm paying $100 in Cuba for a bottle, man. I might as well just
Yeah.
stay here. I
Yeah.
might as well just
Almost too much.
stay here. What are we doing, man? But there's another thing that Flyboy did mention, and I wanted to address this one.
Yeah.
So he said also bring medicine for headaches, allergy, and stomach sickness, because none of that will be easily available.
Yep.
So do you think like people would get like headaches and stuff like that like quickly, or?
It all depends on people, man, how they are. It is what it comes down to. For me, I haven't had any issues there. Knock on wood, thank God.
Yeah,
But of course, just bring all that stuff. You don't need that. Just like you said, I mean, it's nothing but the truth. Bring all
yeah.
that stuff because you never know what could happen. Either, you may not, the food may not sit well with you wherever you went to and so forth. Because there's some situations, some restaurants that you go to, you'll see a whole bunch of flies, outside all around. You never know. Maybe they might have, jump on the food, whatever. So,
Oh
you never
man,
know.
yeah.
So bring everything that you need. Make sure you're good. Pepto Bismol, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
hold
no,
on, I got a question real quick. Let me chime in for a minute.
Oh
guys.
yeah, man. No, absolutely, man. Go ahead, man.
So of course, I'm a Cuban rookie, and what I'm thinking about tomorrow is how much cash do I need to withdraw? Because I think you might want to remind the listeners how hard it is to. You can't use your credit card. You don't have an ATM access. That cash is all you have. So how much cash to get, and what type of denominations to get, and where to get your Cuban pesos.
So
Great question.
I'm gonna say this. There's two things to that. First, I'm gonna say for you guys that actually have bank accounts in other countries, such as Colombian guys and so forth. If you have a Banco Colombia card, if you go to Cuba, you could use that if you have an account. However, if you don't have any other international accounts, you're stuck. You're gonna have to bring all the cash that you could bring and make sure that you're good out there in Cuba. One thing I've stated, I know a lot of people, one of the biggest things that we usually do whenever we travel for us vets, we always exchange our money into the actual country currency. Well, for Cuba, for me, to tell you the truth, from my perspective, from my experience, I don't think it's well worth it. You're gonna lose a lot of money when you do that. Because the fact is, for some reason, they want dollars down there, whether it be from you purchasing or going to restaurants and so forth. Whenever they give you the bill, they won't give it to you in several set prices. They won't give it to you in Cuban pesos, dollar, the value of the dollar, and in euros. And because of that, for me, I look at it, I might as well just pay in dollars, because here's the thing: when you go ahead and exchange your money out there in Cuba, here's for example, if you would change whatever money that you have and you would change it with the government, it's gonna be times 120. So you're gonna lose a lot of money when they actually exchange it and give you the value of what it is times 120. Because like I said before, every 1,000 mil is actually $5. So if you go with the government, they're gonna get you on that. If you go with the people on the streets, it's gonna be times 170 or times 180, but you're still losing money, still losing value of that dollar. So there is no point of you changing it when they're still looking for dollars. So that's why I was telling a lot of people like Black Man Travel, telling everybody, yo, when you go down there, just use your dollars. Don't exchange it because you're gonna lose a lot of money when you do that. And like we said before, since there's the embargo between the United States and Cuba, you cannot use your bank card out there, your credit cards out there, nothing from the United States. So you have to go down there with cash and just protect your cash at all costs.
Yeah, I could say this: I'm only bringing $500. That's my budget. If I spend more than $500 in 4 days, that means that I have poor money management skills.
So I'm gonna be there. So I'm gonna be there one extra day, but I'm coming there pretty much in the afternoon. So I'm not really gonna really be doing much. So my budget is 500 as well.
Yeah, guys, there's no need to overspend in these countries. If you look at it, what is your daily spend here in the States? If you doubling that in another country, that means that you're doing something wrong. So for me, $500, that's $100 a day. That means I should be able to come back home with at least 200 in my pocket. That's my goal.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And not only that, I mean, like, so you got us four that's gonna be there, and then so 6 other guys, so 10 guys. We need $500 each in Cuba. Nah. Nah, man.
And those are 2 guys, man. Listen, we still gonna pregame at the crib, drink at the crib, make sure you're good. And when you go to the club, I mean, you get a bottle, but the bottle's not for you, it's for the guests.
Right.
And you just there to soak up the energy and have a great time. So again, $500 is more than enough, like for 5 days in Cuba. If you carry more than that, that's on you, man.
Right. Yeah, man.
Kind of wild out with a bunch of do some other entertainment.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like that's some angering going with the M right there. Some serious.
And even in that, if you like, even for the angering, let's say angering, you shouldn't pay more than $40.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
For
angering purposes.
No, you can say mangering.
I want to keep it
funny. I was just being funny, but no, I completely get it, man. Another person who was out there, Milano, I see you had posted something earlier. Oh, my fault. This is a millennial, my fault.
I saw him out there too.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Internationally known. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's just saying what up. Okay. I thought like he had something to say. But yeah, so I did drop a link for Flyboy to come up. Please, Flyboy only. Please, Flyboy only. You know what I mean? Because Flyboy was just out there, so I know Flyboy has his experience to speak about Cuba. And you've heard it from both of these gentlemen, if you're going out there a 5 day, for 5 days, no more than $500. You know what I mean? If you're trying to have extra fun, you really shouldn't be spending no more than $40. And if you're going out there, like if it's like 3 or 4 of your boys or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and everyone has like $400 or $500 a piece, like you all eating together, so like you really should not be going over that $500 budget.
And the food is cheap too. The food is not that expensive, and unless you're trying to go to some high class or wannabe high class restaurant, I mean, you could do that. You could waste your money, but most of the places, especially in the outskirts of Old Habana, I mean, you really basically for a meal, you're spending about $5, maybe $10 per se for a meal, not including drinks or whatever. So
I did want to ask you guys a question to actually answer our audiences. So like So like if you go into like the local market, right, like to get like some food for breakfast, you're getting like, scrambled eggs or orange juice and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Because like you want to be able to make your own breakfast, but during the day you're probably going to pick up lunch and dinner or whatever, right? So does that save you money as opposed to just $10 for lunch, $10 for breakfast, $10 for dinner?
Yeah, well, for me, what I've done in the past, I've coordinated with my Airbnb host,
Mm-hmm.
and for $5 extra every morning, she'll cook us breakfast. She'll cook us a spread of breakfast. So,
Oh, nice.
um, $5 is good enough for breakfast for me. But also, too, I may not wake up until 12 o'clock. So it really depends.
That's true.
But
That's
but
true.
normally I try to eat out at least one time out of the day, mainly for dinner,
Mm-hmm.
or probably lunch. Lunch I get a sandwich, man. I get a Cuban sandwich. Call it a day, man. Cuban sandwich with soda, I'm good. I don't need to have a sit down and try to have a full course meal for lunch. A Cuban sandwich is more than enough you need for you to just eat and just keep them going and have a nice dinner. But
Okay.
guys, keep in mind when you go to these restaurants, they may have a long list of items, but I'll say at least 75% of those items may not be on the menu. So
That's
I
good to
basically
know.
just say like, hey, what do you have? Like, what do you have for today? And normally I always ask for Oros con pollo.
Yeah, that's
That's
it
what
right
I,
there.
yeah,
That's
that's
it
all I
right there.
want, man. Literally, I think when I was in Cuba in 2017, I was there for 7 days. I literally ate rice and beans and chicken every day.
Hey man,
Yeah.
I'm with it, So but before, so I'm gonna read this comment really quick, and then I'm gonna bring you up. So he says, so Travel Lover says for $100 a day is not near enough and may be risky, especially if I'm indulging in mongering. I
Bro,
would say 200 to 300 per day is good to be
I
safe.
would not even spend that in DR $200 to $300 a day or Colombia or Brazil. That's crazy. That's just insane, man. That means, well, that's on you, bro. I'm not counting your pockets, man.
Hey,
Hey
going through,
man,
That's on you.
yeah, yeah,
he going through 'em.
yeah, and
Wow.
that's a
People
lot,
don't
man.
understand the powers of economics, man. And he's like, they take that matrix mindset there with them. Dude, you have to look
Mhm.
at the average person in that country don't spend that amount of money per day, but you want to go there
Right.
and spend that? That's
Yeah.
crazy, man. That's not
Right.
trap. You're not becoming like the thing. The point of you becoming a traveler is for you to immerse in the culture and way of life of that country,
Right.
not bring that American mindset with you.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So, I want to read I want to, well, not read, but I want to say some metrics. But before I do, got my brother from another mother, THEFLYBOY. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel. Flyboy Way in the building. What's up, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way, all platforms. What's going on, bros? How y'all doing, man?
Hey, what's going
What
on,
is
man?
going on, man? What's going on? So yeah, man, so right now, we're kind of touching on the nightlife dating kind of scene of Habana, and I saw some of the things that you have put in the chat, which I thought was really good. But this last comment here, and I wanted you to chime in on this one if you don't mind. Where Travel Lover is saying that you need at least $200 to $300 a day to be safe if you're trying to indulge in extracurricular activities, if you would say. What say you, man?
All right, I just had to turn the air conditioner on.
Nah, you good, bro.
Here's the thing. I'm in the middle between both of you guys. Like for me, the type of quality woman I like, the type of quality I like, if I want just quality, if I'm not getting a pro or a non-pro, is going to always be at least a 6 or a 7. I personally, from what my experience there, I don't remember any 6s or 7s, even with negotiating, with me speaking Spanish and with me dressing nice and me, connected with the culture. I don't remember any 6s or 7s being less than $50. All the ones I seen that was 40 or 30 or 20, and they were ones that was 40, 30, or 20 were like 4s and 3s. So again, it really depends on your style. And the other ones that weren't were a lot older. Like I personally, when I go and whether I'm getting a non-pro or pro, I go between the ages of 21. Sometimes I take 20 until about 30. If once they start to look older than 30, then it's like, do I really want to spend money for this to get time, because there's so many other options. So I would tell a person, if you want to be if you want to give it a take a little bit, if you want a pro, you're going to need between 70. If you want a quality pro, you're going to need between 70 and 100. A lot of them, the top ones that you see are going to in the clubs. If you go to the clubs like King's Bar, if you go to Illusions, if you go to LM, if you go to these clubs where they're going to dress differently than the ones you see in like the little bars, they're going to have a different vibe. They may be even more, if you like the hip hop vibe, they may be more into the hip hop swing of things than the ones you'll see at like VS Bar or the other bars that's close to the Malecone, because those bars are just the bars that everyone has access to. When you start to go outside of where the Malecone is to New Havana and to places outside of the main areas, like
Myanmar.
Mio Tuyu, you're going to get a different quality of woman. It's not just pros, but non-pros as well. So again, it really depends. Yes, you can get them for 30, for 20, and for 40, but it depends what kind of quality you want. So if I was going to specifically want a pro every night and want to eat, and again, when it comes to eating, there's only two places that's going to be I'd say about a $20 meal between two people. And these are the top two places I felt as though was in Havana was to eat. The first one, the first one I say is FAC. If you go at Fabrica de Arte de Cubano, it's going to be a lot of restaurants there, and these restaurants might charge $6 or $7 United States for a meal. That's going to be the highest you're going to get. Then the one that I believe is better when it comes to food than aside from the one on the Malecone, which is going to be like a $20 meal, but aside from FAC is a place called Blicky's. Now Blicky's is going to probably be the best place that you eat, and that's going to be $20 for two people. So if you're spending $20, and that's one meal. So if you're eating at Blicky's twice, which it might be worth eating at Blicky's twice in one day, you figure that's about $40 a day on food, right? That's, if you're not trying to budget, $40 a day on food. Then if you want to do an activity, I'm going to say if you're going to do activity, you probably only do 2 activities while you're there for 4 days, or 3 activities while you're there for 5. You're not going to want to do it every day. Someone said earlier that you should only pay $20 for a tour. That tour has to be very short. Like when I pay, because you don't understand, right now Cuba is going through a gas crisis, and the gas crisis is very, very bad. So the prices of gas and trips are going to cost a lot more money. Now, and mind you, I went in May, which was like 3 months ago, right? So if you're going to get an hour tour, it may cost you like $30, $40 for a whole hour for 2 people. It doesn't matter. Actually, it doesn't matter how many people you have there. It'd be $30 or $40 for a whole hour tour. I was able to converse with somebody and get 2 hours for like 40, and it was for 2 of us. But it's something I knew the person before. So again, all together, if you want activities and pros and food, and you want to eat at the top restaurant, we're talking about the top restaurant, Blicky's, or El Bicky, my fault. You're talking $10 a person at the what's name, plus let's say $20. Let's go his thing. Let's say $20 a person. That's $30. Plus the pro you're going to need is going to be $70. You might want to bring $100 a day, but you might want to bring a little extra. So $150 a day would get you everything that you want every single day you're there.
And I want to chime in on that. And the areas that Flyboy was mentioning are in Miramar. Miramar is more of the upscale area, so that's where a lot of the tourists would normally go and frequent and party there. A lot of the Canadians, a lot of the Spaniards would go there in that particular area called Miramar. But if you're out in the Old Havana, it's actually a lot different. So you have Calle 23, you got VS Bar, you got a lot of the smaller spots you could go and really party with the locals. The LMs, the 2.5 bars, whatever, they tend to cater more to tourists. So yes, you're gonna pay tourist dollars. For me, I like being around the locals. I prefer to be around the locals. And again, like hunger is not a top priority for me. If it happens, cool, but it's not gonna be the primary focus for me. So for me to just go out there and have a good time and just go with the flow, that's my thing now. Yeah. But everything he said is point. That's why I said $100 a day should be more than enough. If you need to spend more than that, then that's on you. But I think for me, knowing that this could be, my second time going back since 2017, I'm kind of more chilled now. I'm not as anxious to do everything. I can more relax. So I could just go there and just take my time and just take it all in.
Yeah, one thing to add, especially for what Flyboy said, I agree with a lot of the stuff that he said. How also I would add that there is several different factors that come into play depending on the person and what's going on. Because yeah, I agree with him. The $20 for the tour, $20 per person. I was able to score that with my boy. We did it for about an hour. We were able to get that whole hour moving around the whole entire city and so forth. And I know that I think Milano went out there. I think that they were jacking up a little bit more. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that, Milano. No, you're gonna probably come out for this video or whatever. But but I'm just saying is that and one thing I definitely say that yeah, for the higher quality, different type of women, yeah, they're gonna be trying to overcharge you. One thing I noticed that from my perspective is that a lot of the negras they're gonna charge a bit less compared to a lot of the lighter skinned women that basically from when I was going between the two or so between the dark skinned women and the lighter skinned women, and also there was different prices depending on what day of the week, if it was like during a weekday or if it's the weekend. So I saw a lot of variation, different factors that led to different prices and what people are stating.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, guys, there's a lot of variables that comes into this. It's never a fixed arrangement. Now, granted, colorism does play a role. So depending on who you talk to, they may give you a different price point, but that's how it is.
I will say this real quick. Here's the thing. There's a difference when you go as a content creator versus when you go just to enjoy yourself and enjoy the community. Me personally, when I went to Havana just past time, I was going as a content creator who wanted to give an update because I had been there before the pandemic. I was giving an update. So as a content creator, I felt as though I had to do a lot more than I would normally do. Like when I do go back to Cuba and I'm just going to relax and hang out with the great people I met. Now, as a content creator, I feel as though you have to get a section at the club. The reason why I say you have to get a section at the club as a content creator is because you're recording this stuff. You're going to be doing this stuff. Now, if you're in the middle of the crowd trying to record, it's going to come off kind of, a little bit off. And at the same token, if you don't have a section or a bottle, it's going to be a lot harder for you to like really get the whole rest of the club. Like, let me see if you can share the screen with me real quick.
Yeah. So yeah,
I agree with that. I agree with that totally. Yeah, because when I went, I was like, yo. Once I got down there, at first my mentality was about creating content, and I was like, yo, screw this. I started
absolutely.
Everything. I was like, forget it. And that's what I'm gonna do the same time when I go out there. This time I'm like, I'm not even gonna create content. I'm just gonna go have fun.
Oh man, so what? So it's just me and vlog that's only content creating, man.
I'm gonna jump in, but I'm not gonna take it serious. That's the thing.
Oh man, all right, I got you. But really quick shout out to my man Gavin Turner for the $4.99 super chat. Says salute. Thank you all for watching, man. We got 30 people in here watching. Definitely make sure that you share the video, like and subscribe to all of these channels: Flyboy Way, Vlog Tripping, Black Man's Travel, Solo ORD, Kings and Dreams. All of us content creators, man. So subscribe to the channel. Hey, Fly. So all you got to do is when you hit the share button, just hit that, and then it's gonna ask me to allow it, and then okay, you just did it. Okay, cool. Here we are.
All right, so I'm gonna show you two different. I'm gonna show you guys two different point of views. Now, here's the thing. I would say you only really need if you're going as a content creator, you only really need to buy the section one time. And the reason why I say one time is you have to remember to get all the footage from that time. But it is also good to go to the same place again without buying the section, because what you do is you not only get one angle, but you get two different angles of the same spot, which can show you two different perspectives of traveling. So this angle I'm gonna first show you right here, the angle of me and my homie Blaze and Bars. When we bought the section, and we bought the section again, it cost $150 because it was on a Saturday night, and we end up meeting up with the Cuban plug. So shout out to your Cuban plug. We met up with him and another brother, Snow, that I met on Instagram. That he told me that he was gonna be there. He watched the channel. So this is the first angle when we're at the club right now. Here's a couple things that you'll understand. From this angle, I get to show you as a content creator how it feels to be, in your own section. Now, mind you, everybody in this section is black or Hispanic. Everybody in this section right here. If you could look, everybody. This guy right here is Rick Ross's big brother. That's Cuban plug right there. I'm trying to slow it down a little bit. Hold a second. Let me see if I can bring it back real quick. Yeah, this guy right here, Paparazzi Zoe, That's Rick Ross, big brother. Cuban thing, my boy back there. And this is here. Another thing about buying a section is now. Remember, you guys said. Remember, all right, right here. Stop. Right there. Boom. Remember, he said that it's harder to get women. It's a little bit more difficult to get women if you buy a section. Here's the thing about as a content creator, why it's important for you to get a section. I'm going to show you guys real quick, because when you get it, when you're next to them in the club, not all of them are going to be very active with it. You'll see that this woman's going to turn her face around because she doesn't want to really be seen. But you can get the vibe, because here's the thing: the $100 for the pro activities. And I'm not saying this woman's not a pro. This is not my experience. It's just a woman that came up to pop bottles with us. That's what I'm going to say. But let's say you want the pro experience, right? If you give $100, it's not just for you to go back. $100, go back for an hour, and that's it. And that's what a lot of people get wrong. What the pro experience in Cuba is, I don't know if it was like this before, because before I didn't really have a strong pro experience, but now I did. So now it's that $100 gets you in the club if it's 11 o'clock, and they say, hey, while I'm talking about this, let me get off the screen real quick, because I don't know. Say that. All right. So in the club, if you see a pro that you like, you go over to the pro and she says $100. It's not for an hour. It's not for you to go take it right there and go back to your Airbnb or to your Casa Particular. It's for the whole night. And when I mean the whole night is they come up to your section, they hang out with you, and then you pop bottles, you drink, you can get the creator experience that you might want to get. And then afterwards, you go back to your Casa and you.
Yep.
And that's what the whole $100 experience is for. Now, as a person who just wants to have fun, it may not be worth it. You might want to negotiate, because there's a bunch more that will charge 70, or you can go outside and get it for 50 from the streetwalkers. But as a content creator, it looks better when you get the whole package, because it comes out looking like something like this. Again, these are not pros I'm going to show you, but I'm just going to show you what it would look like if you get the package or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So this vibe looks better. Now, there were also some women in here that were just happened to be celebrating one of the girls' birthday, and they was black, and they brought a section as well. And I was able to link up with them, and I actually got one of their numbers. But the way I knew she wasn't a pro is because I went to try to see if I can get her for the night, and she was like, "No, I'm hanging out with my girls tonight. We just having fun, and we just here for that." She didn't even mention the money thing. She didn't mention anything. She's like, "Oh, I'm just hanging with my girls right now." And that was these women right here. Let me try to speed up a little bit more. Hold up, because I want to get to the second angle I was telling you guys about. 1 second. Where was that? She's over here. These women right here, strong black Afro-Cuban women, all amazing, successful.
And that's my speed right there. See, I don't want to deal with the stuff you just talked about. I'm in it for that. So it's just like, I don't feel the need that I have to like do that. It's just like, you know what? Because when I was there, I didn't have to do that. It was just like, all right, cool. I'm out there having a good time, dancing, partying, and let the energy come to you. And that's what I want.
Right. Now, here's the thing about that. If you don't care about even the whole time you're there, then that's cool. But you, as a person who's traveling to Cuba, who's not going to be there for more than 5 days, you are going to be on a limited time. So you're not going to try to. I personally wouldn't try to go after someone that's a non-pro. Now, if the vibe is right, like remember when I was in Veradero, I met a non-pro. Vibe was right, and we just ended up and hanging out and stuff. And it wasn't planned, but the vibe was there. But if that hadn't happened, I would have got something else. But again, I just wanted to show people that in LM and in these clubs, there are a bunch of non-pros that just go to hang out with the girls. But these are going to be the women who have money in Cuba. Because remember, even for the Cuban citizens buying bottles, it's far more expensive than what they can most likely afford. So the second thing I want to show you guys is another angle. So we're going to go back real quick. I want to show you the second angle that I got from the same club. From the exact same club, I'm going to show you the second angle. Now, the second angle was when I went by myself, and I actually I didn't buy a section. I just went by myself to this another area. Now look, let me see where we at. Now this again, this again is going to depend. And it's the same club. I want to show you. There's other clubs I went to, but I want to show you the same club because it's a different angle. This is also going to depend on your personality, as well as your ability to speak Spanish. Now, I heard you guys say, you know, a lot of people don't speak English there, and I kind of believe that. But I feel as though with just English, you can get by at what's that called? So you can get by at in Cuba very well, even without speaking any English. Without any speaking any Spanish.
Spanish.
See, I don't know, because like if you're not in Oda Habana, it's gonna be hard for you to communicate.
Yeah, I disagree with that, man.
I'm talking about outside of Habana.
Well, that's the thing. Is like the places that you're talking about are that's where all the Canadians go, which is in Myanmar. But once you but once you're in Central and Old Havana, no one's not speaking English there.
No. They speak in Central. I had experience with people speaking English.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they do. They do.
It was English restaurants that was catered to English stuff. But here's what I'm saying: most of the people that are traveling are not going to do what most of us do. Like when I went to Veradero, most people are not going to take a cab there. Most people are going to stay within Havana, Central Havana, and Miramar. So those areas, you can. I speak to the people who are going to those areas because unless you're a vivid traveler, you're not going to venture out past that. Yeah. So here's over here. Now look, here's the second way of filming when you go in the club. Now here's me. What I did was I started filming here, and I go directly into the club filming, and I show you a whole different angle. Now this is just for content creators who want to see, because when you come in,
that's my vibe.
When you come in here, boom, you see how it is. You see the Afro Cubanos, you see the mulatto Cubanos, you see the Blanca Cubanos.
Yeah,
having fun, and this gives you a first-hand experience of how it is. And this is the part that you mentioned that I feel as though you won't be able to get if you're in a section, because if you're just sitting in the section the whole time, you're not going to be able to walk around and do this.
Yep.
Give people the vibe. So I think both are needed, but as a content creator, like when I go back, I don't feel as though I need to get section, so I might not. But as a content creator, it's got to be that you get a section.
Having the 360 camera is going to be perfect in this environment. That 360 camera will capture all that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And I love that you got both perspectives, because I'm like, yo.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely smart. That's absolutely smart, you know?
Yeah, because this is the perspective. Like every time I go to a club, every country, this is kind of like the feel that I love. Because like this is my high, you know. I'll be dancing all night with everybody, snatching women, you know, off of VIP, wherever I could think of. I just be having a ball.
But you know what? I want to chime in to what Flyboy mentioned, and again, maybe that's just my experience. Like whenever I do a sectional, it really depends on the type of club. Some clubs, it's better not to have a section. It's better to be amongst the people and just be with the energy. Then there's certain clubs that you are better off getting a section, because you can sit down and get a good view of what's going on. So it really depends on the venue. So guys, so before you commit to a section, just do a quick walkthrough of the venue. Just see, okay, should I get a section or not? And again, the section will probably cost you $100. If you got 4 or 5 dudes, you got to split that apart. That's $25 a piece. You're good. You get a bottle or 2 bottles. But again, I like the pregame. So by the time I get to the club, I'm ready, feeling nice. All I need to do is just get a bottle, and that's it. I'm done. But again, this is great content, by the way, Flyboy. This is amazing content, man.
Yeah, this is definitely dope. Really quick, shout out to Original Man for the $2 super chat. He says, salute brothers, passport brothers are up. Definitely make sure that you are getting your flights. Get your flights, man.
Another thing I would say is make sure because like when I was watching Milano's channel, Milano went to a lot of clubs I didn't even know existed. I'm gonna be real with you. He went to a lot of clubs I didn't know existed. So when I do go back, I would go back to that club, because a lot of people don't, when they pan the room, they move so fast, you don't really get this experience where you get to actually see individuals without the blurriness. And I feel as though this is the best way you could really tell like how women are looking in Cuba. Like right here, pause. I want you to see this part right here. Look what happens. Look what happens. I'm going to tell you exactly how this went. And mind you, I'm sitting right next to him, so I'm telling you just how it went. She leaned the Blanca Cubana leans over to her friend and says, "Is the guy behind me a black Cuban, or is he from America?" Right? She says, "Is the guy a black Cuban?" And her friend nods her head no. Watch, you're gonna see her friend nod her head no. And then guess what she starts doing? She starts dancing.
Yeah.
I guess they thought either the music was too loud and I didn't hear them, or I guess they didn't think I understood Spanish. So when I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. It was kind of funny when that happened. And like I said, I tell people, if you can read lips, you can see exactly how it went down. It was so funny. This part was just super funny to me. I'll definitely show you guys a couple other
So
bars.
which club is this one right here? This is LM or?
This is LM. This is
All
LM
right.
on a Wednesday. I went on this is a Wednesday. Boom, boom.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Beginning it in.
Yo, hold up. I thought I was gonna go out tomorrow, but yo, hold on.
Yeah, yo, I was partying every night when I was there.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to slide to LM.
Like a lot of people don't know.
Man,
That.
I thought I was I don't know, man. Yeah, I think I'm about to take that dive, bro.
So actually it's actually the same. It's actually the same. What's the name? Actually, I'm gonna go to King's Bar next.
Hey, Flatboy, Habana Club. How was that one? How was that venue?
Habana Club. Oh, you mean in Veradero?
No, like if you scroll back up, I saw when I say Habana Club. Oh, don't worry about it. If you scroll all the way up.
All the way up.
Yeah, right there. That one right there. It's Habana, Cuba. Oh, okay, my bad.
No, I went to Habana Club, but Habana Club is in Veradero.
Oh, Veradero. Okay.
Yeah, but see, the majority of people are not going to go to Veradero. Let me tell you why. It cost me, and I'll let's play the back when I talk. It cost us $130 to get from. Remember, the Cuba has a big gas issue. To get from Havana to Veradero costs us $130 one way and $100 back because the guy was late. But basically $100 just to get there, right? And it was $130 ain't really a lot for us. But just to think about it, this is the reason why a lot of people don't go. But once you get there, you're gonna have to get a room because it's a 2.5 hour drive to Veradero. But in Veradero, you're gonna get some different places that it's a tourist area, and you would think it costs more, but it's not. Like we went to this place right here called Continental Cabaret. Now Continental Cabaret is considered the high-end club of Veradero. And mind you, Veradero is the biggest tourist spot. I know Havana costs more because more people can get there and more planes fly there, more people know about it. But the tourist area is set up to be a tourist area is actually Veradero. The beaches are probably literally top 2. I have seen beaches in Dubai. I've seen beaches in 15 or 13 other 12. I don't know a lot of other countries. But the beach in Veradero, after seeing it for the first time, is top 2 to me. So, like I said, I'll show you guys the beach real quick, and then we'll get after.
It's actually one of the top and best beaches in the world.
It's the top 2. Like I've been to the beach by Guaynabo and next to, because there's a beach about 30 minutes away from Havana. There's a beach in Guaynabo. We went to Guaynabo also. In Guaynabo, there's a beach. The first time we went to Guaynabo.
Hey, did you check out a beach called Santa Maria?
I'm not sure the name of it.
That's about 30 minutes outside of Havana.
Is it in the Guaynabo?
I think so. That's probably the same area there.
The beach was very good. That beach was like it was really good. But I'll show you very there. But before I get to that beach part, I'm going to tell you about the Continental Cabaret. Remember how you guys know that me personally, I don't wear chains, I don't wear jewelry except for earrings. I might wear a watch every now and like then. And I was like, I wouldn't expect people to wear that. I wouldn't expect anybody going there to wear that. But in the Continental Cabaret, the Cuban people here must have a direct connection. These are the Cuban college people, college kids, the college young adults that in Cuba, Cubans that are in college in Cuba, whatever. But the Cubans that come from the wealthier families. Because in this place, you're going to see a lot of people, whether it's fake or real, I don't know, with gold, with name brand gear. You'll see them dressed up, all in this place right here. And that right there was like, it was something that it really shocked me, because even in Havana, I wasn't seeing the amount of styles and name brand and jewelry that I was seeing here. And it's to get in the club, it was $20 to skip the line, which for them is a lot, but for us is nothing. And to get a bottle, it was $20 to sit in the line. And this is like a Tropicana feel where they have people that come out and they perform, and it's a stage, and you see the guy walking us to the what's name, and it stays dark. So the only part I can show you where the people had jewelry on is when I went into this the bathroom part, and it's right here, and you'll see the guy right there. Boom, you'll see one guy right here, black guy with a bunch of jewelry on here. He's Cuban. A chain right here, he's Cuban. Watches right here, he's Cuban. And then you see the women come, and the women are dressed up. So again, like the atmosphere in Veradera is completely different. Like it's safe in both places, but you can tell that Veradera is the place where the Cubans with money or have a connection with the government or have a connection with people outside of Cuba that's sending money. This is the place where they go. So again, and you would think they was regular black people. No, they're not. I mean, you would think they were black Americans, but they're not. You'll see the women coming in nice dresses, coming dressed up, and it's even the woman has a chain on. So again, it's just depends on where you go. Now, Veradera Club is the other part that you guys mentioned. I'm just show you a little bit of the start of the show and how extravagant it is. Eventually, everybody like kind of mixes in. They start dancing with each other and stuff. But you don't want to start your club night in Havana. Since you guys are going, you don't want to start your club night till 11 o'clock because most of the clubs, if not all of them, are open till 6 in the morning. Maybe Club Johnny's. You might want to go to Club Johnny's at 11 first or something like that. But I just wanted to show you about that. Now, this is the Havana Club. I said all that to say this. This is the Havana Club that you guys had mentioned. But this is the club, I believe they had one in Havana as well. But I don't know where it's at. I haven't seen that yet. But this is mostly tourists. When you go to, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I had this very unattractive tourist that was trying to get at me and stuff. But Havana Club is mainly for tourists. Like you're going to find some pros there. Like we've seen some pros there. But mostly it's going to be touristic stuff, and they're gonna like lead the pros to be outside because it costs money to get in here. And the last place I'll show you that we went in Veradera was this place called Mama Mia's. Now I went by myself because my homie had to go back. He went back to the crib. But it's this place right here called Mama Mia's, and I went with this Morena woman right here. But she told me this place to go right here, and it's in Santa Marta. Santa Marta again is a different part that you won't see anybody that does YouTube going because again, even going to Veradera is a big thing. Santa Marta is 30 minutes outside of Veradera. So imagine if you're not going to Veradera, which is 2.5 hours away, you're not going to then go again another 30 minutes to go somewhere else. But again, the woman I met here in this bar lives in Santa Marta, and if I do go back, I will go back to Santa Marta as well, or at least bring her to Havana. But the vibe is good, as you can see. Everything is. This is what I'm saying. Like when you go to like the VS bars, it's cool. I went there. We didn't go inside. We looked inside. Inside, it looks small from the outside, but when you get inside, you can see it's decorated. It's not. It's not outside.
Yeah, no, they look like trash from the outside. You be like, what the hell is this?
It's not really small. You can get to the door. Most of the time, they got the doors closed, so you got to like, But
Yo, Flyboy, let me ask you a question, man, before you continue, man. Sorry to interrupt you. As a first time, I never been to Cuba before. How do the local men perceive you as just moving around as a foreigner, being from America?
Okay, okay. In my experience, as they were so interested in getting to know more than what they know of us. Like even when I spoke to the Cuban guy on the video, if you guys watch the video, they only know us from TV because here's the thing. And somebody mentioned it earlier. I believe they was talking about Solo Traveler's father when he says, why does he want to go back to Cuba? Here's the issue with that. When you leave Cuba, you see how amazing stuff is outside of there. But the issue is if you come back, and the reason why a lot of Cubans don't go back is that if you go back, the Cuban government can stop you from leaving that country as a Cuban citizen. It's just like if I have a baby with a Cuban woman, and I take that baby out of Cuba and bring him to the United States, and then go back to Cuba, they can keep the baby and make me leave because the baby is a Cuban citizen. So that's why a lot of Cuban citizens don't go back. But back to what you were saying, they look at us like, oh my God, we're actually seeing what we don't. Because remember, the internet wasn't as big before. In 2018, when I went, they had internet cards, and everybody couldn't afford an internet card because it was like $1. And I know it sounds like a lot to us, but not a lot to them. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot to us, but $1 was a lot back in 2018. So now, they have internet internet data on their phone. You can get data on your phone now. And with the data on your phone, they can see the internet. So they see us. They see hip hop. They see rappers. They see basketball players. They see stuff that they don't normally see in Cuba. So when they see somebody, a black person coming from America, who's looking like they have money, when they're accustomed to, like Black Man said, they're accustomed to black people that they see all around not ever having money. They're so intrigued by us that they're going to come up to us and talk to us. And even in this video, you can look and see the styles. Look and see the styles of how people dress. Look, Nike hat. You see this? Nike hat.
Yeah. Hey, Fly Boy, I wanted to chime into what you just said, because you said your first trip was in 2018. My first trip was February 2017. And I remember walking around, people find out I was American. People were coming out wanting to see what this American guy looks like. So again, guys, this is before internet. This is internet before internet for them, because in order for them to jump on the internet, they had to buy phone cards. Then you had to go to like an internet park to actually to get access to your Wi-Fi. So you being African American, especially you being from New York, from Miami, from Chicago, like the common areas, they want to get to know you, because especially you being a black person, because again, they're not accustomed to seeing a black person with wealth. And again, because again, due to the classism in Cuba, a lot of black folks are not really doing well financially. So when they see a black person that does well, that's an American, it's like, hey, we want to get to know you. We want to have a good time with you. We want to party with you.
And they know our entertainers, because one guy stopped me and he was like, yo, you 50 Cent. You look just like, I'm like, yo, I don't look nothing like 50 Cent. I don't know what you talking about. But yo, they'll try to have the comparison with what they see now on the internet. I still talk to a couple Cubanos right now, and a lot of stuff that they watch is a lot of the old stuff. You know what I mean? And the old music that they listen to, some of the stuff that we were listening to back in 2000, early 2000 and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm looking like, yo, you finally catching up to that. I'm like, yeah, some of that stuff I enjoy, but I don't really care too much about it.
So there's no real hostility to foreigners or foreign black men.
No. If anything, Trini, they're gonna embrace you more. And again, depending what clubs you go to, and they're not accustomed to seeing a black American, dude, you're just gonna get more love out there, because they want to get to know who you are, and they're gonna look at you, the way you dress. If anything, don't be surprised if that guy's asks you for your shirt. They may say, hey, can I have your shirt? Or can I have your sneakers? Because they've done that to me plenty of times while I was there.
It's just, that's why I tell everybody to go, mainly because, one, I feel as though it changes your perception on reality. Yes. You know how when we first started learning how to travel, when we came back to the United States, we started, well, most of us, when we first started traveling, like when I first started traveling, and then I came back to the United States, I started looking at what I was spending all my money on, what I was doing all this on. I'm like, yo, I could take this money here. And luckily I started traveling at 18. That's why I'm in the predicament I am now. Because at 18, when I was traveling, I'm like, dang, I need to stop spending money here on this other stuff like clothes and all the stuff that my friends and I spend on. And I need to spend money on learning how to move around the world, learning how to move around the states, learning how to move around the country. And Cuba, I feel as though, is that for travelers. So again, when you start traveling, it's one notch, right? But then when you go to Cuba, and I don't want to say that it's not the scene of the poverty. It's not the poverty that makes you change what you consider and how you think about living, how you think about life in general. What it is the happiness of the people there, knowing the conditions that they're in versus the conditions that we're in. Like right now, I'm super upset. I'm disappointed that I wasn't able to refinance and buy my crib in Mexico. But then when I look at the happiness of the people in Cuba and how they're happy with what they have, I can be like, all right, well, it'll come eventually, but I should be happy with what I have now. And I think that is what is a refresh, of course, for travelers. Like you start traveling, and as you travel more, you might forget how it feels. And then you go to Cuba and it's boom, all over.
Yeah, you know what? I want to chime into what you just said, because when I went at 17, it was a reality check for me. It made me realize how grateful and blessed that I am as an American. And guys, you don't realize, like, sometimes we complain about the littlest things that play no factor in our life. And you go to these countries and you see like, wow, I should be blessed. I should be happy. I should do better. I should do more. It's just an eye opener, but also too, man, the Cuban people are so nice, man. Again, being raised in Miami, Dade County, went to school, University of Miami, man, my experience with Cubans were not the best because they were like, they were very on that colorism situation. But when I went to Cuba, and I remember the first time I was there, I put a post on my Facebook page. I said, Cuba's black. Bro, you know how many people attack my page? Like, because for me to say that, because again, black Cubans don't get no shine at all. And they seem like more like the forgotten people, but also the black Cubans is what make Cuba. The food, the culture, the dance, everything is black oriented. So it's just like, to go out there and give them credit. Like, hey, listen, we acknowledge for the stuff that you guys done for the people of Cuba and the country of Cuba. It was an amazing experience. And also too, it was just honestly at that time, it was one of the best countries I've been to based on just the people wise, not the, the buildings or what anything else, but the people.
So, Kanal, let me ask you a question since you mentioned.
But hey, man, I want to.
Now, let me get this in real quick.
I'm sorry. I just want to give a quick. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make it quick. I just want to give a shout out to the Flyboy Way because with him explaining a lot of the stuff that he went through, he haven't went in depth, but I've actually watched a lot of the stuff that you put out there. But and if you were able to give out a lot of the stuff that you went to from an early age and to how you got to where you at now, which I think is actually dope because he done a lot. Especially with real estate and so forth, and I gotta give a shout out to you, man, for making that happen at a young age to be able to do what you're doing now. And so I give you your props.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
I definitely subscribe to your page. I took a quick glance, and you got a lot of videos from Cuba, so I think that might help me better prepare for the trip coming up. But to Kanal, since you mentioned colorism, what is the colorism makeup in Cuba? Is it majority black? Is it majority white Cubanos? Is it a mix? Because you're saying that the black are forgotten people. So what can I expect the makeup to be when I get there?
In Havana, you're going to see a lot of black people. You're going to see a lot of black people in Havana. And whatever misperception that you have about Cuba, you're going to see the true reality of it. I was quite surprised that I came across Taino Cubans, like the native Cubans. I was surprised by it. Like I never knew they had them there. Of course, you got your European Cubans, the Blancas, but again, it's more of a mixture. But you'll be surprised just the amount of dark-skinned Cubans, like my complexion, your complexion, like ORD complexion, just walking around speaking Spanish and can't speak English. Right. That's just very common to see.
Here's the thing we're here up.
So sorry, really quick. I just wanted to chime in because you guys were talking about like the music and stuff like that, right? Like so there's one club in particular, like in Medellin that I go to, and it's not in the like it's not it's not in Poblado, it's not in Parque Yeres, where you hear a Little Dirk and all that, right? So like you're hearing like the 2000s, you're hearing like the 90s Wu-Tang and all that stuff, you know what I mean? And so like to me, like it gives me that, like at first, like I was shocked. I was like, wow, man, you guys aren't up to date. But like it really made me feel like, okay, you know what, like I could get with this, man. Like it is a vibe, man. It's a vibe for sure.
I'll say this. All right, so in LM, you're gonna see a override. First of all, let's start with the basis. In the basis, in my perspective, Cuba is about 70% black, as far as black meaning darker skin.
Yes.
People.
I agree.
However, in a lot of the clubs, like King's Bar or Mio Tuyo, what you're going to see is a lot of lighter Cubans. Let me explain why. Because those clubs are for people who have a little bit of money. And a lot of the black Cubans don't have the money to go to these places. Now, if you do go to like Fabrica de Arte Cubano, when you go to see the performers, that's what you're going to see. A lot of black Cubans.
That's where I'm going to be at.
You're going to see black Cuban ballerinas, black Cuban pianists, black Cuban actors, black Cuban performers. And then you're going to say, oh, now I get what everyone is saying about this. But again, if you look at some of my videos, not as much as LM, but if I show you Mio Tuyo, we'll get to the Mio Tuyo. I just wanted to show you the other bar, King Bar. If I go to King Bar, like I was just at King's Bar, showing you in the background, you'll see, boom, you'll see more lighter skinned Cubans. Again, in Cuba, their history with racial disparities, as far as like we in the United States had Jim Crow, we had at 200 years ago, black people couldn't read. We had slavery for 400 plus years. We had segregation. In Cuba, they didn't have these this much. They had slavery, but they didn't have stuff as separated. Well, oh, you're black and you white. And you'll hear one. If you can't take my word for it, I could play a Cuban who's lived in Cuba all his life that I met here, that I have him recording saying the exact thing. It was never you're black, you're white as a Cuban, we're Cuban. It was always we're Cuban. So the experience between the people, it's more a classist thing where they say, oh, you're a lower class and I'm a higher class versus, oh, you're black and you're white. So when you go to these clubs, you're going to see a lot of what they consider white Cubans run up to you because they know you're American, even though you're black. They know you're American and they know you got money, and they're gonna come up to you like, "Oh, how you doing, Bobby, 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 Bobby?" Even if it's not a pro, because again, it's a classist thing. Capitalism.
Yo quiero negras, man. That's all I want. Yo quiero negras. That's all I'm going for.
I just want to play this one part. Then I'm gonna let you guys talk if you can. You guys talk my fault, not let you, but you know.
No, you good, man. You good. You give me some great information.
I just want to play this one part because again, there's always people and that are going to be speculative because I tell people all the time, it's just my perspective. But I want to play this part because a lot of people want to hear it from the person's mouth that's saying this guy right here. Let me see, where's he at? I want to get to the exact part where he explains everything that I'm talking about right now.
My family Cuban look when you sacrifice.
Hold on, no.
Cuban look all the business that is more open for business.
Let me see, where's that? Give me some time.
Capital. And the whole
Here go.
mother to the father to the restaurant
And he's gonna explain.
He's black.
All right, right here.
People open the eye when you eye.
All right, right here. This is good.
To capital. It's a future. Simple.
All right.
Online now working private and smiles.
You guys hear?
White.
Yeah, we can hear it.
9% Cuban people now renunciate to working to the government because people open the mind to capital. It's a future. It's impossible. So no puedes stop it? No, it's impossible to stop the capital mentality. Impossible.
Pero it's a small place. If you can't stop it in a small place, how can you stop it in a big place?
Yeah. It's impossible because when people open the eye, when you I don't know the color is white, I know it's white. But when people talk, this is white, this is black, you go, he's black, this is white. And people look, capital is necessary, capital conversion. When his main business,
I just want that part right there to play. I mean, just to show you guys that what I'm saying is an experience that someone who has never left the country. This guy has never left the country. He doesn't own a cell phone. He doesn't go. He's probably been on the internet before, but this is not. He's a teacher in this school. So this is somebody who doesn't have family outside of Cuba, who doesn't work in the government of Cuba. And he's telling you the exact same thing that I'm telling you. It has to have, see, we're so used to history, but history is not inclusive. What history is just one perspective. History is the European perspective of what happened in the past. But what I'm giving you guys is a more inclusive perspective. If I just went to Cuba and I told you what I thought without giving you somebody from Cuba who's never left, who's a teacher there, his experience and his thoughts, then it wouldn't be inclusion. It would be something like, no offense, something like what other, I want to say his name, something like what another content creator did, which got people in jail.
Yeah.
This is the difference between what I do and what we do actually, because we as Black people from the United States, we understand this. We understand what happened. We've been through this. So it's like, I feel as though what we've been through changes us to be more inclusive to everyone else versus to be a colonist when we go places. And that's why, again, when I say things, I always like to point out the inclusive commentary of somebody of a place that I went. So
I agree. I agree. And again, I said this kind of earlier because when I donated some school supplies at a local school, I spoke with the teacher and she kind of gave me the rundown about the Black history in Cuba. and how everybody gives a lot of attention towards Fidel Castro, but no one doesn't pay attention of Batista, who's like 100 times worse. And it's just like, this is the guy that actually purposely made sure that Afro-Cubans did not get any education and did not get access to healthcare. He kept them in the countryside, or if they were in the city of Havana, they only could do more servant jobs. They couldn't become doctors or lawyers or anything like that. So again, when you out there as a black person in Cuba and a lot of these countries, it's good to talk to the locals, man. Like sometimes take a break from the whole party and getting lit. Like sometimes talk to everyday people and get in their head and figure out what's going on. And you can learn a lot, man. And that's one thing I know for a fact that if you go to Cuba, you will learn if you open yourself to it.
Thanks.
I say like one thing that what you mentioned about the whole Batista thing and the whole Fidel Castro thing. I won't say who, but I spoke to somebody because it's a lot of you can't really put somebody out there. I'm just telling people, for the people that don't know. I know we know, but you can't put somebody out there when you talk about certain things. That Fidel Castro thing is a big
it's a sensitive topic.
Sensitive topic for a lot of people. So I'm going to speak from a third person perspective. I'm just giving you my perspective of what I've heard from the Cubans that I talk to off camera, because I wouldn't put any of that on camera, and the people that I talk to off camera, I wouldn't put their names out there. I was just telling you guys about the perspective and how history is. When some people I talk to, I'm trying to word this correctly, say that the reason why a lot of the Cubans in the United States that like go to Miami are upset is because what Fidel Castro did was he evened out the playing field for all the years that basically the black Cubans or the darker skinned Cubans weren't allowed to prosper. That would be the equivalent of the United States paying reparations for the black people in the United States. So when they did that, not only did it affect the whiter Cubans who had already been wealthy and living in a certain way, but that also affected the Americans who had invested in Cuba, who were white.
Stop it.
Property and
stop it, man. Hey, stop it before you fall into a deep rabbit hole, man. This is too deep, bro. This is too deep, man.
The United States had interest, a lot of interest.
With my perception, there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying it's true or false. I'm giving my perspective on what I've heard from listening. Remember, yo hablo español. I speak Spanish, so I understand a lot. And this is for people listening. What happens is that when Fidel did this, some people think that because the American and the people that was investing in and what they're saying is the people who were investing in Cuba from America were the mobsters and the gangsters who had money, who couldn't use that money in the United States because it was illegally obtained goods. And when this happened, and they spread it, let's say I'm a mobster and I put $1 million in Cuba, and the government takes my wealth and spreads it out to the black poor people. Now American government gets involved and says, this is a perspective. We'll make sure that these guys never make it out again. Cuba will never be a place where you can thrive and build and invest ever. This is what some people that are deep in the Cuban culture that I spoke to said. Similar to what America kind of did to Haiti.
Yep.
So this is why there is a big rift where you would think that we believe that Fidel was just completely bad. This, and this. But then there are people who you'll see in documentary old videos who would give their life for this man when he was alive.
Yep.
And you never understand why. But then again, as a black person in the United States who understands, now me, I don't believe that black people will ever get reparations. I don't believe in fighting for it because I don't think it's ever going to happen because of the situation. But if as a black person whose mother's black, grandfather's black, great-grandfather's black, my great-grandfather, the father of my great-grandmother my father and my grandmother rather, had to come up from the south in a casket to get here. So as a person whose family generation's been there, I fully understand how people could feel that way if that's what happened. Okay, if that's what happened. If I'm
Do
saying,
you mind if I add a little bit context to some of the stuff that, like to add on a little bit what you were saying? Back in that time, also, basically, Cuba was like the Las Vegas. So it was like just like what you said, which is exactly true. That a lot of investors, a lot of people were pumping money in there, and basically the U.S. those that had money, whatever, they wanted to make the Las Vegas in Cuba, and when Castro did that, a lot of people got pissed off. And basically, add on what you say, all that correlates together. With what was going on, and that's why of course, like we said, the U.S. had banned connection with the Cuba, whatever. Make an example.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, yes, allegedly.
Yep. The fact of what was going on. So, so that's one of the reasons why, we have this embargo stuff and everything, why there's so much of a rift between the both, United States and Cuba, especially with Castro.
And you know what? One thing I want to say, guys, and to the listeners, guys, make sure to like this video. We're dropping real history, real perspective. We're not talking about the typical stuff that you normally hear. Each of us have been to Cuba. Each of us has spent time there, and again, guys, Cuba is a beautiful country. Go visit, but again, just check your just manage your expectations and go there for more than one thing. Don't go there for that strictly one thing. Just go out there, enjoy the people, and support the people. Learn about the culture, the history. Because again, I lived in Miami, raised in Miami. I always got a different perspective of Cuba because based on what the Cubans in Miami were telling me. But when I went to Cuba for myself and they learned it on my own, everything they said literally contradicted. So I'm like, wow. So it's a whole different perspective. And again, to go there and see so many Black Cubans, that was an eye opener for me. Because again, I'm from Miami. You don't see Black Cubans, but Cuba's only 90 miles away from Florida.
Right.
Yeah, most of my family members, they're more like lighter skin. Here's why I'm like, well, not light skin, but like more like the way that my inner arm is or whatever. They're more a little bit lighter shade than me. So you'll see a lot of that here in the United States and so forth. Reason why I'm darker because I'm mixed with Haitiano. I'm Haitian and Cuban, so
Yo, Zoe, dog, you're Zoe Haitian, dog. Raise them flags, man.
You ready to go?
Salute, man.
I know we get ready to hit the 2-hour mark, King James. I just want to make sure you remember when you go, before you go, like right now. I don't know if you can go to CVS. I don't know if you can go to stop place or something like that, but pack 2 Gatorades for every day you're there. I'm telling you, that's going to change your life, as well as chips. And I would say even if you can get chocolate chip cookies, those 3 things, you'll be set. Because here's the thing. You'll notice the first time going. After about 11 o'clock, after about 10 o'clock, 90.95% of the stores that you can get food from are going to be closed. So you're not going to be able to get no snacks. And remember, even when it comes to going to the grocery store, you as a United States citizen, I'm not going to say you can't because some people say you can't, but it's going to be very difficult for you to buy something from the grocery store that you can just snack on and eat. And all of the restaurants are going to close at like 10 o'clock. Now, the only thing that's going to still be open is the restaurant in Hotel National and Fabrica del Arte. So again, pack snacks. And again, also, when you go there, let's say you got a non-pro and she see those chips over there, she's gonna love you even more. I'm telling you, Gatorade, bro. I shout out to when I first time I went, I met this beautiful woman named Mate. And this time I went, I linked up with Mate and Mate's mother. Mate's mother is like 60 years old. Mate's mother had never in her life seen or tasted a Gatorade. So I gave her a Gatorade. I gave her something that she had for the first time in her life after 60 something years old. Wow. So again, like, bring that stuff, man. If not for everybody else, at least for yourself, man. And medicine.
Hey, Fly Boy, you want to hear something crazy? Back in 2017, man, I bought 2 bottles of Jack Daniel's Fire, the cinnamon to Cuba. They never had whiskey before. So it's like, so when they so they drank the fire, they was just drinking it. They got messed up. And also too, I bought some cadaver chocolate. Man, they went crazy. Like, yo, what type of chocolate is this? Like, it's just regular chocolate. And again, because they don't have it there. And also it's also a premium. It's very expensive.
The little bags of chips, they was like they can get them there, but what happens is that they get them from Cubans who go to the United States and come back, and then they sell them to them. That's the bag of chips. But stuff like Gatorade, stuff like whiskey, stuff that we have here, even electronics, like cell phones. Like you can have some old cell phone. Like I got, my old Galaxy and I got my new Galaxy. The old Galaxy is like, to say 7 years old, and they would pay top dollar they could for that. So again, or they would trade for that. But for me, it's $20. So again, I would bring some stuff, man. Most importantly, the medicine. Because if the last thing you want to do is be in Cuba, have an allergic reaction, and you can't get nothing.
Yeah.
Facts, no pincer.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Man, listen, this was an excellent live. Like, man, I could see this going 4 hours, but the thing is, a brother got to pack, and I got to leave here at like 3:30, man. So, yeah, man, I really would love to keep this going, man. But, man, I wish I could move my flight to Thursday, but nah. But it's all good, man. Excellent things, man. Absolutely, man. So, final thoughts. Was that your final thought, Flyboy?
I'll also mention that, just last thing. I'll mention the transportation. When it comes to transportation, when you get to the clubs, you don't even need to take a taxi. What they have is they have group taxis. And I ain't show you in the video, but I showed you in my videos, but it's hard for me to find out where it's at. But they have like buses, like little school buses that pick up a bunch of people. It's way less than taxis. And they're outside every club. They're like almost every club. They're outside almost every club. Just ask the security guard where donde es la coche para vas, and they're gonna show you the bus where there's a bus, and it's like normally a lot of people try to charge you $2,000, but they'll take $1,500, they'll take even $1,000.
The bus will take you to your place.
Yeah.
Oh, like at the door.
The bus take you to your place. It'll take you to different clubs, all that stuff. Like
thanks, man.
Now what's 2,000? What's that? $10?
Like $10. No, a little bit less actually. Yeah,
okay.
Because it's a little bit more.
Yeah, give or take $10. Yeah.
$190, give or take. Yeah. It's 180. Actually, it's 185. Actually, it's higher now. I believe it might be like 190 for every 195 for every dollar. Because when I went, it was 185, but everyone's telling me it went up. So.
Oh, okay. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Okay.
You got an Airbnb?
Yes, sir. Vidado.
Change your money with your Airbnb host. Don't change. Change with your
I am. Yep.
I mean, I know you got Cuban plug too. Your Cuban plug, he get a good rate too.
Yeah, no, my So you remember Alquan who went to IC with us? Yeah, he was just there 2 weeks ago. So he put me on a lot of stuff, bro. Yeah. So we all good to go, man. Yeah, man. But thank you for coming on here, man. I definitely appreciate it, man. Vlog tripping, man. I know you haven't said much. I know you just been kind of soaking in this, soaking in, what everybody's been talking about. But if you got any final thoughts, man, let us hear them, brother.
My final thoughts is, man, I'm just glad you guys brought me on. It's a lot that I'm taking in. So when you're trying to learn, sometimes you need to talk less and listen more. And I definitely, would say subscribe to everyone's channel, especially Flyboy. I think he gave a lot of information. I'm definitely gonna check this stuff out. And I just like that we all get to support each other. And I think we're gonna have a great time.
Absolutely, brother, man. Definitely, man. So you pulling up on Thursday, right?
Yes, sir. Midday.
Oh yeah, man. So I'll see you. Well, it's pretty much midnight. So I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, man, for sure. All right, man. So we got Black Man's Travels. Final thoughts, my brother.
No, man. Great live, man. I really enjoyed this whole collab of guys sharing best practices and experiences. And the guys, I hope this encouraged you guys to just look into Cuba as a potential place to visit. There's a lot to do and see there, and don't let people that never been to Cuba to discourage you from actually going. And I'm hoping that once we get back from Cuba, we have a lot of great content that we could give you guys up to speed on. So again, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be about 10 of us down there, man. We're going to go out there and have a great time, man, and take over. That's it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, man. So we definitely got to do like a part 2 of this when we come back. You know what I mean? You know, why go to Cuba part 2 or something like that? But we'll definitely do that, and I know we're gonna get some content. And Black Man, you know, I'm gonna need to borrow like at least 2 of them cameras, my G, for like, you know what I mean? I got you, though. I got you. Hey, Solo, what's up, man? Final thoughts, brother.
Well, I don't even have much to say as a final thought, but first I'm just gonna say, yo, man, you know, shout out to all you guys that's on the panel. You know, appreciate being. I actually enjoy being out here with all you guys, man. Shout out to Flyboy, Black Man Travel, you know, same with you, Kings and Dream. Also, you know, the other brother we're gonna see down there who's soaking up all the information. So, you know, I look forward to go and meet up with you guys, have a good time. Cuba for me is all about having fun. Every single time I go there, it's just about having fun. So I may not have a lot of content when I come back, but I'm probably gonna have a little something. But all I'm gonna say that, hey, for those of you that are thinking about going to Cuba, you know, definitely a great place to go to. Like everybody said, just keep your mind open and just soak in the culture, everything that is there. You know, don't have no. Basically, talk to to everybody that you can, whoever you can talk to, and get more information about what's going on, history, and how the daily life of a regular Cubano. And basically you will have a good time. So those are my final thoughts. Yo, appreciate being out here.
Hey,
absolutely, man. Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
No, bring condoms.
yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You
That's
know.
a given. What you talking about, bro?
I'm telling you, I didn't see not one place that sell condoms with the bring condoms, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man,
not one place.
Bruh. Oh man, you don't want to. You know what that little way verse said? You don't want to get that late text saying I'm late text. No, something you missed the late text, something like that. But yeah, I know exactly how it go if I hear it. But absolutely, man, definitely bring that on, man. Well, first and foremost, man, I'm very excited to go in a couple of hours, man. You know, I appreciate all the brothers that came on, you know, vlog tripping, Flyboy Way, you know, just impromptu came in, dropped a whole lot of knowledge, man. So you gave me a lot of clips, by the way, Flyboy Way. I think all of us. So, you know what I mean? So it's going to be, you know, great information you gave. Solo ORD, Black Man Travels, you know, vlog tripping, you know, we're all going to be down there at the same time. So it's going to be great. You know, if you haven't thought about going to Cuba before, definitely make sure that you do. We have a lot of good information there. We're going to have a lot of great information when we come back. So definitely make sure that you're all tuned in. And please make sure that you are subscribed to all of our channels, man. I really appreciate everybody tuning in, everybody from all of these different channels tuning in. If you haven't heard of me, if you haven't heard of Solo ORD, if you haven't heard of Black Man's Travels, you haven't heard of Vlog Tripping, haven't heard of the Flyboy Way, now you've heard of all of us. So subscribe to our channels and make sure that you are absorbing this information. First thing and last thing, get there safe, get back safe, stay purposeful, and we are out. Peace.
Peace, everybody.
Peace, fellas and ladies.
Yeah, we out.